Oh. All right. Here we go. What's up?
What's up, man? Here we are.
And here we are. I didn't know you were a teacher.
I teach.
Kindergarten?
This year, no, I teach 2nd through 5th grade.
Oh, dope.
So
Through 5th grade?
I'm an ESL teacher. So
What's
that's
that?
English as a second language. So I was a high school English teacher for a decade, but now I teach English as a second language. So I was at elementary and high school.
Okay.
This year, I'm just in elementary school. So
That's fun.
yeah, it's fun.
That's
These kids
awesome.
have so much energy.
Oh, dude. I can only imagine.
I told my principal the other day, I was like, I think I'm a pretty good teacher, but this job makes me a bad father. Because when I get home, it's like all that energy for kids is just like gone.
It's gone away.
Yeah. My poor children.
Daryl, you got to stop, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I have the patience of Job at work because I'm paid to have the patience.
Right.
And then when I get home, there's like no one watching my patience other than my wife.
I guess I could see it. How do you, and do they think it's cool that you're in a band? Or do they even know?
Well, the kids I teach now are too young to care.
They don't care.
Yeah, they don't care. Except there's a couple 5th graders who I'm not sure how they've caught on. I think some of their parents online have seen something. And so there'll be questions like, Mr. Pulliam, can we hear one of your songs? And it's like, how did you?
That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, but it's like,
No. As a matter of fact, Timmy, you can't hear one of my songs for quite some time
trust
still.
me, you don't want to hear it.
You wouldn't like it. It ain't the Wiggles.
Hate it.
So, fill me in, man. Were you born here?
Yeah, I was born in Little Rock, and then my parents split, and so I was like, I lived with my mom and my stepdad, and we lived like North Carolina, Alabama, and then I would visit my dad in Little Rock twice a year, and I just, it was always great visiting my dad because, well, it was a change of scenery, but I only got to see that side of the family. I didn't get to see him very often, but I always just like coming here. And so for college, I decided to go to UCA and just stuck around.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
So you had the option to leave and just didn't. Yeah. Well, Arkansas is cool, man. I like it here.
It's cool until right now hits and the heat and humidity, until fall.
I work in it all day long, so I know. I'm all too
What do you
familiar.
do?
I do flooring, so
God bless you.
I'm in there pre-AC, just whole front of your shirt, you just like you got out of a pool, you know. You walking around and shoes are like, all day long.
Yeah, I had to catch some rats in the attic recently and just spent, it was minutes in there.
Rats in the Attic. That's a good band name.
Rats in the Wall. I've been trying to write that song for a decade.
Really?
And that song already exists, but I've been trying to write a better one. I just can't make it happen. But yeah, you're right. Rats in the Attic, Rats in the Wall, a great band name, song name.
It'll come to you while you're driving, and you'll have no way to write it down. I use voice to text a lot now, so I'll just pop on the voice memos and just be like, da-da-da-da-da-da, or hum out a guitar tune until I can get home.
I've learned that trick, but what I haven't learned the trick to is when it happens when you wake up at 3 a.m., and you're like, da-da-da-da, oh, that's perfect.
I'll remember.
But I'm not getting up.
That's that Mitch Hedberg joke. He's like, sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and I think of something funny and I want to write it down, but I got to get a pen and paper that I don't have by my nightstand. Or I got to I got to get up and do it, or I have to convince myself that what I thought of ain't funny.
Yeah. And there's an easy solution. You just keep the phone by the bed, but I'm trying not to hear the text throughout the night to wake me up.
That thing, once that blue light hits your eyes, though, your brain's like, morning, and it's 3:20 a.m.
That's it.
Yeah.
So all those wonderful songs I'll never write.
Oh, yeah, all those beautiful verses I thought of mid-dream and woke up
Yeah.
that no one will ever hear. The antenna never shuts off, man. It's dreaming and in music. I could have had a billion dreams, writing, playing, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. I've got a friend who does that a lot with melodies, and I'll ask like, man, where were you on the piano when you wrote that vocal melody? He's like, no, I dreamed it. And he's a huge Beatles fan. I guess Paul McCartney was he the first one to say that?
What, that he dreamed a riff up?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
First one to probably get it recorded anyway.
Yeah. So I do have some voice memos that were recorded at 3 a.m. because I was like, well, if I hear this right now, I do have to pee, so we might as well kill two birds with one stone and record this.
I've 100% done that.
You'll hear the melody humming,
trickling in the background, 100%.
Yeah.
Dude. oh, to be a creative person. I got to get this out.
No, speaking of waking up, I had a buddy call me yesterday, and I've known him for 20 years, and he had, just that like 5th grade question. He was like, hey, someone asked me the other day if you were to do this just unspeakable act on national television, like primetime television, which shows his age anyway, would you do it for infinite amount of money? And immediately I was like, no, I wouldn't do it. He's like, why wouldn't you do it? I said, because you're not just doing it on primetime television now. Like, that's on the internet, and that's like for the entire.
It's forever.
It's forever.
There's no getting rid of that.
If I'm in my mansion in Malibu or Maui or both,
yes,
like someone
you're always that guy.
Someone's watching me do that unspeakable act. And so this morning I woke up and I went, oh wow, we're about to put this on the internet. So whatever I say today, in 30 years when I'm taking the great dirt nap, my kids can just like, let's look at that.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah. And from that, because it's such a long amount of time that we do these, an AI will be able to replicate almost everything you say because it'll have almost every word it needs to vocabulate you just saying almost endless sentences. Yes. So wild. Yeah.
Crazy.
And we'll have that before we're in the dirt nap. Like, that's coming. It's already here.
For sure.
Have you seen these fake songs going around? The Drake stuff and the Tom Brady comedy special that an AI did. The Nirvana song that never existed.
They're not awful.
We're done. Oh, being creative is like, we're this close to just being like, well, I poop in the woods again.
It was like, the one that got me was, how would this Oasis song sound if Noel sang it? Sounds pretty good.
That's crazy, man. That's so wild. The voice one, have you seen, there's a new one, the face changing, what we used to call deep fakes, and now that's just an app on your phone. It's literally, it's just a filter on your phone on a basic ass social media platform.
Yeah, it feels like we're in the early stages of this,
but we adapt to it so fast.
And the later stages are not a decade away.
They're 5 years top. And the deep fakes 2 years ago, we were like, oh my God. Yeah. With the Bill Hader one where his face turns into Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise, like in an instant. You can't even see the switch, but it's just going back and forth, and now you can do it with your phone.
Yeah, it's scary because surely this is how it all is.
Oh, sure, for sure. Yeah, no, we're all dead.
We are in what I believe like a really unique situation. When I say we, I mean most of the humans on the planet right now, because a large percentage of us remember life pre-internet.
Yeah.
Some don't.
In 30 years, there won't be any.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know your age, but I know the world like for the internet.
39, so yeah, I do.
We're the same age.
Oh, okay, there you go.
And so that feels like, wow, we were able to experience that turn.
Oh, wow, we watched it happen in like high school. Like senior high was for me when my friends started getting like personal computers, and we all knew about 20 people that had cell phones, not beepers,
Yeah.
And it was just, it took off. Once I graduated, what was it? Probably like 05, 06, especially when the iPhone dropped. It was just like, once BlackBerry and the email and all that stuff started coming around, and you were like, man, and then it just boom, 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 iPhone, and then ever since then, just to the moon.
So I kind of feel privileged that we know that turning point in evolution, because it has to be the most significant.
I think probably I've thought about that too, because like you have a few, fire, which was forever ago, the wheel, that changes humanity forever,
Right.
We've been building structures since probably the whole time. We got the idea from caves, just make a cave anywhere.
Yeah.
And then the Industrial Revolution. Once we figured out how to stick shit together, not here. Refrigeration also, that was a massive one. That's
a big one.
That changed the whole future of. A lot of people don't realize what that did. Refrigeration seems so simple, keep food cold, but the ability to transport it is why we're here. Like, it's how we got to this point. Yeah. So wild.
But yeah, the AI thing, I mean, we created this, but I would assume that.
Well, here's the thing. Right now, it's just us. Mm-hmm. Right now, AI is us. Because it's just pulling shit from the internet at breakneck speed. Yeah. So it's kind of like throwing stuff together the best it can. Eventually, we call it the singularity.
Judgment.
That thing's going to wake up and it won't be us anymore.
What is the solution to any problem? Remove humans.
Well, hopefully not. Hopefully it goes like a decent stepdad, and just kind of spanks the top of our hand a little and goes, "We're going to not do that, children." Yeah. Monkey boys.
Or we can hope,
or we just, or it does the whole Terminator thing, and then, which either way, I'm down for both. I just want to be alive. I want to, the bombs and the stuff, like I want to live past that little point and then like watch the machines come. Like that would be sick. I don't want to miss the robots.
As long as we both go down like this.
Yeah. Right. On a slow chain in the lava.
Yeah. As long as that's how we go out, I'm cool with it.
Oh my God.
Then I could that would be the greatest ending because it would be like my childhood nostalgia, like full fruition. Right.
So then I gotta start wondering, dude. I think about this kind of shit all the time. I work alone, so this is just my life. It's this conversation, but with myself. And I think about, okay, if that's inevitable, if like just AI all across the universes and all the multiverse, all that stuff, like eventually you come up with this thing that just boom wakes up and knows everything about all the stuff. Is all the aliens just AI beings that they created into their self? Because they're the ones that can get away now because they know all the stuff. Wow. And they can figure out way faster. We have to take time and be like, well, maybe jumping in lava isn't good. I don't know. We should send another one down just to make sure.
Yeah.
It took a long time to figure out sacrificing people didn't cause rainstorms.
Right. Yeah,
a really long time.
And you have slid down the rabbit hole.
Oh, dude.
That's great. Yeah. That's cool. Wow.
So that part's weird because, aliens, they all look the same. They're weird, genderless, like morphic, the big eyes, like they've been staring at screens their whole existence. Weird, and they don't talk really because they can just...
Well, stare long enough into the abyss and it stares at you.
Oh, it stares back. Ooh.
Hey, speaking of Terminator 2, what may be like...
the best movie ever?
Yes.
Yeah.
Top 5 childhood experience for me.
It's definitely the best sequel ever. I don't know that there's any argument for that.
I agree.
Yeah.
So I was too young to go and see it. It's rated R, right?
My parents were a little different.
Speaking of visiting my dad goes, hey, it's like 2 o'clock on a Saturday. Hey, you want to go see that Naked Gun sequel? Yeah, sure, Dad. Sure. That's fine.
I like Leslie.
Yeah, we go and see it. It is what it is. We go and eat at Wendy's on McCain. And then we're in the middle of this meal, and my dad just looks at me and goes, just seems like a good day for a double feature. Should we go see T2?
What? Yeah, Dad. I can't even contain the excitement.
He had it planned out. Man. It was awesome. It was just, it was incredible.
He gets to go back to school and be like, "You'll never believe."
Yeah,
and you're the kid with the stories.
I saw it.
In a whole school, maybe 3 of y'all's parents were like, "Whatever."
And then my stepmom took me to see The Crow, which my dad did not approve of. And it was just awesome.
The Crow was awesome.
Crow's awesome.
I love that movie. Yeah, R.I.P. On that set too. Damn.
Yep.
Tough.
There's talk of nonstop talk of a sequel.
That's what they've been saying that since it happened.
Yeah.
Who knows?
We're finally getting the Beetlejuice
dude
sequel.
Did you see they did shots of Winona in her fully decked out in like
I
the
haven't seen it.
costume, and I was like, oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Ah!
Yeah.
Have you noticed there's Beetlejuice merch just cropping up everywhere now? There's like, get this wall hanger, and it's like,
I bet you
home
Beetlejuice 2 will be bigger than Beetlejuice.
Sure, for sure.
Because of Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
good point because she has a whole new fan base now.
Yeah. And you know,
But so does
big-
Beetlejuice himself.
Yeah.
He's the Vulture in the Marvel movie. Like,
I wonder soundtrack for this new one. They'll obviously, I hope, bring back some of those classics found in the original. But I wonder the new moves they make.
I think you got to stay classic, man. I don't know.
Chores track on.
Man,
A Chores track now that would
one
be
can
something.
dream. One can dream.
Have you done that? I mean, that stuff does exist where you can send your music to like these giant licensing companies.
Sync, is that what it's called?
Sync's one of them. That's the
Yeah.
big one.
Dude, we're just trying to get music out. That's
We
it's
just wanna
such
be-
a struggle just to put a song out. I mean, no, we haven't.
Well, it's not a struggle to get the song. It's a struggle to stick out. I feel like that's the bigger struggle.
Well, no, our struggle
do they
is
do,
to
like
put a
6
song out
What do they get?
because of not the band, my perfectionism is like, well,
Ah.
we've got a song's been done since October and it's coming out this summer because it's like, I just don't like the way I sing this.
See, we're the opposite, but the same. My band has an album we've had for 2 years, not because we're perfectionists. We're just hella lazy.
Yeah, I'm not lazy, but I am the worst when it comes to being happy with something.
We're
so.
not lazy live. We're just lazy in terms of we don't know what we're doing because we're all older. And when it comes to this new space, we drop the ball tremendously. That's
Yeah.
just like an open problem that we have.
What do you mean? New
Admittedly,
space?
like the internet space. We grew up and we were playing together. It was around, but it was something you just went like, it's Friday night and we're in Jacksonville playing a show, and everyone's like, that's dope. And now it's like, you're a band. It's a business model. Share shit every day. And it's like, we're only around each other once a week if we're lucky.
Yeah.
Da 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 da. So you mean band practice is now just content time?
Huh.
You know, maybe you can get some songs in, and it's just like, and we fail.
Yeah,
We're just not good at it.
I feel that.
Yeah. How long have you been playing music though? Like,
Well, I was in a band in college with, I was in a band, we would play,
what band was it?
it's called Gray Sky Riot with Johnny Humble.
Okay.
And he left to play the tour with Unwed Sailor.
Yo.
And then I got married and had kids and dropped the ball on music for a decade.
Oh, so you just kind of stepped away for a while? Were you the singer in that band too?
No, just play guitar.
Oh, okay. So you're
And-
multi-instrumentalist. Sort of.
Well, I try.
I played guitar.
yeah, yeah.
Bar chords, baby.
Yeah, I play guitar about like I sing, which is let's get away with it. Anyway, so yeah, I was just gone forever. Just working a job and raising kids.
Yeah, normal.
And,
yeah.
But seriously, for like a decade. But I started playing music as a kid, but then played in a band in college, and then just got back around to it.
Playing music like got a guitar for Christmas, or dad had a drum set in the corner, and every time he'd visit, he'd play it or something, or because that's where my like early inspiration came from. My dad played acoustic guitar, and I would sit and just watch him play.
Yeah.
What really sucks is I didn't even know that till he was already gone. Like I didn't put that together.
Yeah.
Because I would ask him, like, man, why am I the only musician in this family that's so strange? Hey, fucking idiot.
Yeah. It's funny you,
You
say
grew
that.
up watching me do it.
Yeah. No, I had dinner with my dad 2 nights ago, and he was like, man, do you remember, like, he didn't ask me if I remember. He was telling me, like, hey, when you were little, you would be in the back of the Corvette, and Phil Collins' Take Me Home would come on, and you would be singing it, like, take me home. And every time that line, you would sing that line, I'll go, all right, we'll turn around, we'll go home. No. Like, and it was this joke. And I was like, Dad, I remember that. But
Yeah.
like I was 3. It's like these are my earliest memories are my dad and music.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's the same, it's just exactly what you said.
Oh, it was wild, dude. When I came to the realization, I think I told Kurt, this might have been like a year ago. I was just like, I don't know how it didn't dawn on me sooner, because it was some very early on memories. Because, same thing, loved playing music, was in band in high school, like playing the cornet, and had all the love for it, but had kids and just went away from it. And then once we got, 3, 4, 5, 6 and started being mobile, he just didn't have time for it anymore. So the guitar just kind of sat in the corner.
Yeah.
But yeah, those early
Let
on
me tell
life.
you my greatest memory of my dad and my uncle in music. This is maybe my favorite story. My uncle, like, he was always kind of hip to what was cool. Like, I remember watching the first Simpsons episode with him. He was like, "You want to go watch cartoons in the evening?" Like,
That's
what are you
89,
talking
man.
about? Like,
Kindergarten.
and it was some like Christmas and a dog. And I remember watching that.
Oh,
with
yeah.
him.
Oh,
So-
where they get the dog. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, absolutely.
I remember watching the first
Santa's
episode
Little
with him.
Helper.
Santa's Little Helper.
Uh-huh.
And so my uncle one day calls me up on the phone, and it's like a Saturday. He goes, "Hey, you've got to turn on the TV, put on MTV until this video comes on. It's called Smells Like Teen Spirit
Shit.
by this band called
That's so
Nirvana."
awesome.
And I trusted my uncle. And so I was like, "All right, I'll do that." So console TV on the floor. I tell
Cranking a
Dad,
knob.
I was like, "Hey, Dad, Randy said we've got to sit until this video comes on." And like up until that point, we had MTV on, but
Sure.
it was pop.
It was pop.
And so
yeah, absolutely it was.
I remember sitting on the carpeted floor, console TV. My dad's in the recliner behind me. We
What color
sit
was the
there,
carpet? Brown.
Tan.
Tan, of course. Yeah, I knew it was some earth shade for sure.
Tan. And so we sit there for 3 hours
Just waiting.
waiting, and then it says Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit. Like, "Hey, Dad, this is it," right? We sit through those 4 minutes, and at the end of it, and Kurt's just screaming at you through the television, which you've never seen before. And I look back at my dad, and like his eyes are so big, and he looks at me and says, "Hey, that's the last time we ever take Randy's advice." Because you had never had anyone scream at you like that on
Right.
television before. Like, you were personally offended.
This was a first.
I was assaulted.
A humanity's first. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah. If I could go back and relive one experience, that's it.
yeah. Dude, that's how I try to tell children now. I don't think they can fathom a band being that big because it's not possible anymore. Some hip hop artists kind of have it. Like Jay-Z and Drake and stuff, but it's just not, with less people on the planet, much less, couple billion less. And it was fucking everything, everywhere, all the time, 24/7. Nirvana comes up. You thought about it every day.
Inescapable.
It was unbelievable at the time.
Even like say Drake, like one of the biggest artists of
Yeah.
today, nowhere near like Nirvana or like
No.
Michael Jackson
No.
in their day.
No.
You
Not
didn't
even
have a
close.
choice.
Not even close.
You didn't have
No.
a choice whether you liked it or not. You just
That's
liked
right.
it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I think undoubtedly there's an argument, Elvis or Michael, one of those two people, the most famous person that will have ever lived. Because you can't do it now. Like, yeah, you can have a billion fans, but it's not the same as having 20 million fans 50 years ago. It's not the same thing.
The
Yeah,
longevity's not there.
it's gone. It's instantly gone.
Yeah.
You'll lose it immediately.
Right.
Yeah,
Our attention
It's-
span's not there.
the attention's not there, but also it's just not in everything. It's really not like Jay-Z is a billionaire, but he's not in everything I watch or look at or see or do.
No.
And he's famous. He might be one of the most famous. He is one of the most famous people
Yeah.
on the planet. And it's like you see him sometimes
But,
casually.
maybe it's a good thing. Like I said,
think it is.
we
You're not
didn't
supposed to
have-
be that damn
Yeah, we
famous,
didn't
man.
have a choice whether or not
That's
I like
right.
Nirvana. In hindsight, I don't listen to Nirvana now because it makes me feel bad.
Well, that's the one weird thing about the internet is it's taking us back to smaller numbers of like visibility, even though the numbers are bigger than what they've ever been. But that's just because there's more people than there's ever been.
Yeah.
But it's all these circles, tribes, whatever you want to call it. And I think it is better for sure.
Yeah.
It's better for the person being famous too, because dude, fuck that job. The money's tight, but could you imagine? I can't even go eat food with my friends without there being a whole to do about it. Nah, thanks.
I get nervous being on this.
Now, people do these all the time. They'll go on those tour runs. Podcasting is a giant part of that now, where they're going to sit down and they're going to talk, and those are probably my favorite. I don't really like watching junkets or snippets of interviews because you don't get this.
Yeah.
We don't get to know that, you were sitting down watching Smells Like Teen Spirit with your
yeah.
dad, and he's like, your Uncle Ray's an asshole or whatever, you know. Can't have his advice anymore.
Can't trust him.
But it would stink to be that problem, like, and you know, and at the time they killed an entire genre, so the whole world's looking at them, not just fans, but you know, the
But not only-
politicians
not
start
only
jumping
killed,
in
the
and just,
genre
I mean,
created it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just
well, it was going on. Some things are inevitable, and just like punk rock was a answer in you know, like it started in England, but to like the poppy stuff that was coming around, and it was like the old fogey music. You know, the teenagers, we all get pissed off and we want to play faster and
yeah.
you know, shoot middle fingers to everything.
Right. Yeah.
So anyway, the Chores. So you started.
Chores. Do the chores.
So was this your second band after the 10 years gone, or did you?
So no, I played in that band in college. Then I came back and did this kind of like, I think we played shows, just kind of a little rock and roll thing we tried out. And then
What was that one?
What's that?
What was that band? Did y'all
It was
even?
called Top of the Wheel.
Oh,
And it was just kind of a rock and roll thing. And then I
remember that.
realized that I just felt too much like restraint with the guitar, like being tied to the guitar and the pedal board. And I realized like these live shows are not what I would want to see. I mean, the music, like it's fine. But I just realized like, I don't think I would want to watch my band. Like I feel like I'm too
stuck.
And
I had that same problem with Lame Johnny. You know what I did? I put another microphone near the drum set.
it's a good idea. Yeah.
So I could run around it a little bit.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, though, wholeheartedly. That is literally the reason I use two mics, is because I didn't want to be stuck.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But back to, it always comes back to my dad. I was raised on Prince.
There
and
you
so
go.
it was like, man, I just want to like be able to like put on a sort of a show.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And I love like, well, I bought a vintage Juno. And so at that point I was like, man, I just feel like this is totally different from the stuff I'm writing. And I had that band name, The Chores, that I was, for some
Which is
reason,
an
in
instant
love
classic
with.
band name. Come
That's what
on,
I
man.
thought, man.
Like if you say the word The Chores, someone's brain could almost automatically go, yes, that's got to be a thing.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's like, how does this not exist yet?
That's more crazy, to be
Yeah,
honest,
how
because
does this not
I
exist?
thought of a band name the other day. I was like, Space Wolf.
It's
Not
a
only
band?
is there a Space Wolf,
Yeah.
every way you can think to spell it, that Space Wolf also exists.
how was Pallbearer not already a
Exactly.
doom metal band?
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. Like, how is the Chores not already a thing? I don't get it, you know. But to me, it just sounded like the Cars or the
kicks,
yeah,
the twists, like all the thes,
yeah.
you know.
And so I think I started the new band because I wanted the new band name.
That's fair. You're like, the name alone will garner our attention.
Because the old band name was like, what does that mean? You know, what is like? Well, you don't want to explain your band name, so you want one that's self-explanatory.
You talking, dude, I have to explain. Yeah, my hands towards a mouthful of a band name. What's that mean? And I have to go through the entire.
Yeah.
It's a whole conversation just to explain a band name. You're not wrong, man.
No one wants an essay on your band name. You
And-
just want to be like the Chores.
And
I
the
feel
Chores,
that.
it's like, dude, yeah, I do chores all the time too.
get it.
It's yes,
yeah.
it's so perfect
Yeah.
and simple, and the fact that you got it with there being no competition for it is outlandish and wild.
So this is where I have to tell the truth. And back to dreams, my buddy called me up and was like, dude, I dreamed the best band name last night. I was like, what is it? And he goes, The Chores. And I was like,
That's
That is
crazy.
the best band name.
It's a good one.
And I said, I've got to make that happen. Yeah. So I didn't come up with it.
That's
I just
fine.
recognized it.
Hey, either way, we just got my band, Lame Johnny, is a dude that was real. He was a real guy. That was his real nickname. He was a horse thief, like the 1800s. There's a whole long story to that. I've had that band as a thing. It had a MySpace page. It's that long ago. But the other day I was like, I forgot that we had a YouTube channel. And I was like, let me go look at this thing. And so I typed it in, and now there's another Lame Johnny band. It's children. They're like 14, 15 years old.
Kids Bop version.
But the kids bought Lame Johnny, yeah, because our Lame Johnny is very not for children.
Yeah.
And so they were like, they clearly had to see that we existed. Like, there's no way, because we're the only Lame Johnny. But also, they put official on the end of their little doodad, and I was like, you little sons of
Hey.
bitches.
That's how they get you.
You gonna sue him?
No, dude, I don't care. I did honestly want to go log in and start messaging them and be like, hey, man.
We were here first.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is hysterical. I sent it to the group chat. I was like, guys, load up the helicopter.
Yeah, we're going in.
Uh-huh. So, when was that then? When did you start the Chores?
Exactly a year ago.
Oh,
Our first show was May 2022 in Fayetteville, and it was like testing the waters. We played a bar in Fayetteville, smoking
Barrel?
barrel, and our drummer.
That's a cool spot. I just went there for the first time
It
last
is cool.
week, or 2 weeks
I
ago.
bet it's better with more than 4 people in the room.
Oh.
But our drummer was out of state playing with his other band, and so we just had the tracks, and my guitar player and my bass player went up and just played to pretty much, an empty room.
Sure.
And had enough fun to be like, okay, let's do this in Little Rock. So it started a year ago.
It started a year ago,
Yeah.
and you wrote that many songs, or did you have the songs already written? Is
No,
this something you already
that's
had?
that's a great point, because we booked the show, and that was in January. So from January to May, I wrote 10 songs.
You booked the show before you had
Yeah.
the songs? Wow.
But it was just great. Like, all right, it's a due date. You know?
For sure. Yeah.
And so
I definitely operate better under due
Yeah.
dates. Yeah.
me too. And so I wrote 10 songs. We probably play maybe 6 of those still.
Yeah.
Some of them were just
Well,
complete garbage.
you just writing to get it out of your brain to find a
Yeah.
style and a thing.
It was like, and then even like closer due date, it was like, I'm going to write a song a week. And so I would just write it, send the demo out to them. We would practice it.
That's a challenge.
But since then, since a year ago, I have only probably written 7 or 8 songs, because I've spent all this time learning Logic and trying to figure out how to do this stuff at home.
Yeah.
Instead of going into the studio. And so that technology is difficult for me.
Same.
And
We
Logic
missed
is
it,
so
bro. We missed
easy.
it. Well, yeah, it's just point and click.
It's so easy.
That's Apple's way. They make it
Yes.
where it's like there's this way where you can tinker with all the things, but I don't know, maybe I'm just older brained. I don't want to tinker. I just want to get it the
Yeah.
product thing, because I want the final results all I'm looking for.
Yeah.
That's why like going to the studio was good, and then now it's just like, dude, you can literally take a thing, drop it in a program, and especially, have you seen some of this shit with these AIs? We do one now with our drums, and there's a program out there, and you're like, you want to get it in the MIDI and the grid, what they call it.
Yeah.
I can take my real drum tracks that are on a microphone, like from your phone or whatever, drop it in this thing, and it computes it and goes, here's what it is, and it gets it 88% on the money.
Crazy.
Kick, snare, high, from a single feed of noise.
Crazy.
Unbelievable, dude. It's not just, I'm telling 2 years, you'll go whatever, and you'll just play, and it'll shit out the other end, and it'll just be like,
Yeah.
doo-doo, here's your
Yeah.
perfect sounding thing.
For sure.
Oh, you want it to sound like a Doors song? Hit a button.
You got it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Logic is easy. I'll tell you what's difficult, though, and we still use it at shows, because I don't bring all my keyboards to shows because they're so expensive to repair.
Are you putting everything through tracks?
Well, I put everything in an MPC, and that's where I build my drums. But I'll play all of the synths into the MPC. But that technology has not been updated since '84, and it is.
And it doesn't need to.
It took me 6 months and an 800-page manual to figure out the MPC, which is not like the updated MPC is a new product.
Yeah.
But Logic, like I learned it in 3 weeks.
Right. Well, I mean, it's pretty straightforward.
It is.
Hit record, here's the thing. And
go.
there's features you can dig into, but a lot of it is literally just like, here's this menu, hit the thing, send it off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the chores have been going on for a year,
That's wild.
and this summer, my last day of school is next week. So I am going to take all of these songs that have not been perfect, get them perfect and put them out.
There you go. You get all the whole summer off too, man.
All summer off.
Nice.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
God, I should have been a teacher. I would have been a terrible
I
teacher.
hear that a lot. Yeah.
I would have been so bad. Like, oh, y'all just want to do nothing today? You know what? Me too. I'm a little hungover. Let's do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear that, but then when you're in that situation, you realize you got to sleep at night, and you won't be able to do that if you just farted around with these kids' education.
True.
Yeah,
That's
you
fair
wouldn't be able
too.
to do
Oh,
it.
you think
Yeah.
I'm molding these minds? There's no
Exactly.
way I can be
Yeah.
this of a piece of crap.
And when you look back on your education and you see like the teachers that you had that did that, you think like they were cool then, but maybe they were awful. You know.
I had a good mix of all the kinds of teachers. The ones I
We all
hated,
did.
the ones I loved,
Yeah.
the ones that were truly just like the best teachers.
Uh-huh.
Which I think my favorite teachers down to two. So Mr. White and Mr. Forson. Forson was my welding teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, Mr. White, shout out to him, history teacher. Awesome.
What made him
Incredible.
awesome?
He was just, chill. He got it. He was very, he was in the military. He probably fought in like Vietnam or something. He was older, but he wasn't like shitty in any way. It was just like, yeah, and he would talk to you about whatever you wanted to talk about. He had no judgments or anything, or if you were acting up or if you said a joke sometimes even, he would even laugh and
Yeah.
like go with the flow. He very much went with the moment. As long as you were doing your work, he actually didn't care about how we got there, just as long as it got done. And I wish that's like my whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, teaching is honestly a huge responsibility because you realize when you're in, the room with those kids, it's like you think about your own childhood and it's like
It's got to be so tough, dude.
they only get one of these,
Yeah.
They only get one
Oh, that's
chance to
true.
grow up. And
Ugh.
like I've got 30 minutes with them. Am I going to waste their childhood or am I going to like use it to
Add to it, add
give
like a
them voice
benefit
or
to it.
something? Yeah,
Man.
It's a big responsibility, man. It's
All right, never mind. I don't want to be no teacher,
You
bro.
don't
That
wanna be a
sounds
teacher.
horrifying. I
not
don't
that
even
you-
have children.
Yeah, no, it's intense.
So are your kids all grown up then? Gotta be, right?
My personal,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
my-
your own children, yeah.
2 are teenagers and 1 is about to be.
Okay,
yeah,
so
Yeah.
you got any graduating from high school?
Not
39.
yet.
Gotta
No,
be
I've
getting
got-
close.
I've got one that made a perfect score on the ACT, and that was one of my proudest moments as
Wow.
a parent. My second, another proud moment is that last week my youngest, who is my daughter, my older 2 are boys, and my daughter you can't convince her to do anything, and she willingly on her own wore a Chores shirt to school.
Yes.
Dude, that was probably my
That's a
greatest
win.
achievement in my musical career. I couldn't believe it.
Now that's something special as an adult now, an older adult, where my bassist in my first band ever, he has a daughter, and she wanted to come to one of, I'm Uncle Corey.
Yeah.
Wanted to come to one of my shows. It was a Lame Johnny show, which is my band I'm probably the most proud of anyway.
Yeah.
I just love that fucking band. I'm a fan of my own band. That one for sure.
You should be.
Yeah. You should be. Yeah, there's no shame in that.
No.
And she came and watched. Dude, I literally was like tearing up
That's awesome.
on stage just because she was in the room.
That's great.
It was great. It's such a
And
wild
I don't
feeling.
know if it's the same for you, but there can be anyone in the audience, and I don't care. As soon as I see my wife or one of my 3 kids, pressure's on.
Oh, dude. I hear mine is like my number one supporter. Like my
Yeah.
wife is just the awesome wife.
Mine is too.
And I'll hear her screaming, and
Yeah.
I will tilt my head past my headphone, and I'll just be
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god, dude,
Yeah.
this, yeah, like
But
don't."
I cannot have my dad or my uncle at a show. If they showed up, I would ask them to leave.
Have a panic attack.
It cannot happen. That's too tall an assignment. There's no way.
Oh, my dad was at like all of my shows,
I couldn't imagine that.
like from start to finish. Legitimately, my first band, second band, third. He went to every band.
Did it like spur you on, or did it create nerves?
Oh no, it was awesome. My dad was
Yeah.
the shit, man. He
no,
was just like
no.
he was just
My-
like do it. No, we
My
were
dad
best
and uncle are too. It's just that like I don't think I can.
perform in front of
That's
him.
it.
I think I just did it my whole life.
Yeah.
inadvertently, like I would sing in the car with him, and again with the guitar stuff.
Yeah.
And then when I wanted to play music, Dad, my friend played the guitar. I remember it. Oh man, you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
And he's excited about it. And he's like, do whatever you want, man. Just do whatever you want. Are you happy? Do it. Do that. And yeah, oh no, I was always stoked to see him at shows. Always. Like Dad's here. And then Justin's the same way. His parents are unreal supportive too. And they before they got too old to just be coming out to heavy metal concerts, they were at all the shows too.
It's so cool. Yeah, it's so cool how so much effort is put into all of this. And at the end of the day, you just want to still...
Isn't it? Yeah.
You want to impress the people closest to you.
That is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really think about it like that, but that's a weird way to see it. Yeah, no, it's good.
You know, if someone comes out to a show and they hate it and I don't know them, they'll forget about the
It's
next
like
day.
this. It's like, yeah, if my mom was in here right now, I probably would be questioning myself. You know, that's strange. That's strange.
Yeah, that's just the way it works, you know? It's cool.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that a lot. I probably have to think about that now at work tomorrow.
No, yeah, I've thought about what happens if my dad or my uncle or my mom lives out of state, so it's not as big a possibility. If they show up to a Chores show, I really think I'd be like, I appreciate you being. Can you leave?
Can you leave, please? Wow. Now, hold on. Now, what if they come in mid-set and you don't? Do you do it off mic and be like, hey, Dad?
I spend a lot of time down in the crowd on the floor.
Do you?
I spend a
Okay.
lot of time on the floor, so I'd probably just like,
I gotta catch
Can you leave?
a chore show, man. I just haven't crossed paths yet.
yeah.
I really need to.
Well, we played this week in Hot Springs. That's a drive. Don't do that one. But then nothing is.
Where at, Maxine's?
No, we've played Maxine's a couple times. We're playing at Central Theater.
Central
Theater.
Okay.
We're opening up for a guy who's touring called Minka, but we don't have any shows booked this summer because, like I said, I'm trying to just focus on putting songs out.
Putting songs out, yeah.
But yeah, it'd be cool.
It would be cool. Maybe we'll have to do a show together. That's my best way. Being an adult's the worst part about wanting to go to all the shows.
Yeah.
And just having a busy life in general, and you're just tired as all hell. Like yesterday, I drove to Mount Vernon, Texas, and drove back, and I didn't get to bed till probably 1 a.m., you know, and then woke up at a normal adult hour because that's how my brain works. You know, the sun wasn't even up yet, and I was like, oh my God.
Now, we should do a show, and then, you know, mixed genre shows to me are awesome.
It's my favorite.
I love
I'm that's the only shows I truly even want to play, if I'm being
love it.
honest.
Yeah.
We got one coming up that's not announced yet. It's a Lame Johnny show, but it's a hip hop show.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and there's other bands, but it's also with hip hop, and I'm like, this is gonna be the best.
Yeah. That's a problem we've run into anyway, is we've tried to talk to some other, you know, acts that are in the same wheelhouse, and just the dates haven't lined up, but there's not a whole lot of that for us going on.
Yeah, it's a weird problem in a small music scene.
Yeah.
If it's not heavy music.
Right.
Because typically underground music scenes are dominated via metal.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And I'm all about metal because talk about theatrics and experience. I love that. But not a whole lot of synth stuff going around. Yeah.
Yeah, and if there are, it's like how many times you want to play all the shows, as many as you can, or what you think is relevant to your band. But you can't play the same show. You know, it's like, well, it's the Chores and Booyah Boo and Leaf. You know, whatever. I'm just pulling band names out, but they're all the same. They're the only three around here that are like them.
Yeah.
And it's the same show every time you go.
Well, and
like that gets old real
we
fast.
were on. I mean, here in the past month, we have opened up for some touring artists that were definitely in the same wheelhouse, but it's been on weeknights.
But that's different though. That's touring acts. That's a completely.
It is.
That's a completely different thing.
But it's really difficult to play at night.
Who you telling me? We just did it in Fayetteville on a Wednesday. I was wrecked, dude.
Yeah, because like I'm not going to take off work the next day. I'm going to get up and go to work.
I wasn't going to, and I do flooring, so I was going to tough it out.
Yeah.
Got home very late because there was a car accident. It was a whole thing. And I woke up on time, to my credit. I got dressed, took the dog out, fed him. I sat down on my couch, and I woke up 3 hours later.
Yeah. It's tough.
So it's like, well, I guess I'm just going to stay home and sleep.
Yeah, we opened for some great bands, and it was just, it's Tuesday, it's Wednesday night. There's no one here to see this happen, so it's just unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. And I think that just comes also with time, territory and time. You got to do it a bunch. You got to play a lot. Like, you have to put in the man hours to get enough eyeballs on you, to get enough like fans of yours that aren't just like passerby fans. They're like, oh, the Chores are there too. Great. But then there's bands, fans, like we're all fans of something. Mm-hmm. There's bands that I see and I'm like, oh, that's dope. Haven't seen them in a while. It'll be neat to catch up. But then there's bands that are like, I'm not missing this.
Right.
And it takes a while to build that fan base up.
Yeah.
And,
you and I growing up, a lot of that happened with shows.
Yes.
I'm not sure.
It's kind of the only way it happened. Next to a magazine article or a zine.
Is that still how it happens, though?
Sure. On the live level, for sure. Yeah. You'll get a pop. Here's the deal. Like, the internet will get your pop. You'll get the pop. You'll have the people come in. It's undeniable because they saw the thing and they all liked it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, they're here. Okay, cool. This is great. Well, you have to, it's proof of concept. If they go and you're a fucking turd on a log, you might keep a few because they like the music, but everyone else is going to stay on the internet where they like you most.
Right.
Now,
See, that's our issue. Is there's no online presence because
you got to have
you come
both.
and see us live. It's all presence.
Yo, same. Yeah, you talking to fucking.
And then you go typing on the internet, and it's ghostland.
It's like we got an Instagram we put a post on 7 months ago.
Dude, I don't even run our Instagram.
I'm in the same boat. I think it's just an age issue.
Yeah.
I really do, because we're all in our late to mid 30s, and in my other band, and it's just like we just don't do it.
To be completely transparent, the likes affect me.
Do they? Yeah. Oh, you let it get to you?
It gets to me. It's like,
I had to hide mine.
What's that?
I had to hide mine.
You just don't see them anymore.
That's a great idea. I don't know.
It's
if I learned
an
that
option
trick.
now. Well, you can just go in and turn it on. It's like I don't think we all know this that stuff fucked us up for real. Like,
I grew up not making the team.
Exactly. It's even if it's micro trauma, whatever you want to call it, like enough times you're like, man, I keep doing the thing and still only the same 7 people.
Yeah.
And it's like, my buddy, comparative living stinks, man. We're not supposed to do that shit.
No.
Like
comparison kills contentment.
Was exactly, but also if like your best friend's in a band and he's getting 100 and you're getting 12, you're kind of getting 100 too. You're both getting 112. It's the same community. It's just they figure out a way to get the attention better.
Yeah.
Because it's not that those people wouldn't like you too. It's just that you're not gaming the system the same way they are. Because it is a system and you do have to game it. We're in the middle of it with this podcast right now where there's 2 algorithms on YouTube. One for people who don't have 1,000 subs and one for people who do. So the whole goal is to just game this thing out, and we're going to hit it today. It might have already happened. Oh, there you go.
Oh,
so
congratulations.
It's coming soon. And all that, and it's like, it's this cool moment. I'm super proud of it. I can't thank Sam enough, Kurt enough, myself enough. Sam is like unbelievable, the guy who got us here without a doubt. Yeah, we had to put in the hours and the talent. So like we're a group, a team, but it's all in the name of algorithms. And just so something we believe in will get the same attention as the shit. Because, I believe in this. I think it's good. I love doing it. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't I want myself to get all the things I think this thing deserves?
Right. Yeah.
And you to get the attention you deserve at the same time.
Yeah. And it's just,
it's weird that that's a huge part of our creative existence.
Well, and it's difficult to escape your formative years. In our formative years,
it was the internet didn't exist, man.
I print and go to Vino's or wherever and put out flyers.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And my guitar player's, he's like, It's cool that you do that, but you know.
Well, here's
that
something we learned.
It means nothing.
It works. Now, here's a trick. See, this podcast, we've done a lot of these think tanks, and it's definitely yielded some great results. Print less flyers, be more tactical with where you're putting them, but add QR codes for every single act and a ticket link.
Yep.
That way they can see who they're going to see.
That works.
They can check out the music beforehand, and if they like it enough, right there at a street corner or wherever it is, or at the venue, eating a slice of pizza.
Yep. It's instant.
Dude, I can buy the ticket right from the venue, right there. I don't even have to leave my seat.
Yep.
And you can do it with every smartphone on the market right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks for the tip.
No, it's a good one, man. It's a great thought, and it just manifests itself into like something that works.
And you probably did the same thing, but leaving the show, you had a great time. You want to remember the experience. You're
Oh,
walking out the door. You pull the flyer off the window.
Been there 100 times. I got a whole box of them.
There you go.
Yeah,
But
keepers.
the set list, the same thing. We played a show.
I keep my own
couple
set
weeks
list
ago.
for great shows, and I'll date them.
Man.
Yeah.
Some dude asked for a set list, and it just made my yes, thank you.
You want me, I'm gonna cry right here. Yeah.
Thank you.
Dude, that's the wildest. An autograph, or hey, can I have a pick or a drumstick? I've had people ask a bunch of times for drumsticks or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
You're like, no, this is $4.
and I'm like, no, way more than $4 fucking. I play fire grands, man. Those are $7 a
Oh,
piece.
yeah.
Each stick is $7.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, no, I did reluctantly. I was like,
You have to. You don't have
here.
a choice.
You don't.
No.
I would want the stick too.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's funny. I was at as a kid, I was at a show, and the opening band, they had a hit. It was a Goo Goo Doll show at the
Oh,
amphitheater.
damn.
And this
Like a
opening
couple of
band,
hits.
Fastball.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
the Goo Goo
fastball.
Dolls.
Oh,
Fastball
Yeah.
open, and they threw out the drumstick, and I'm there at the amphitheater, and I catch the drumstick, and I think, all right, we got Sugar Ray to stand through, and then the Goo Goo Dolls come on. I'm not a big Fastball fan. I don't want to keep up with his drumstick. So I look behind me and ask the guy behind me, do you want this drumstick? He's like, nah, buddy.
Ah,
Put it in my cargo pocket,
just go up to the nearest fan wearing
A
that
Fastball
shirt.
shirt.
Yes. I did that at our last show. Like, I wasn't in my right mind. We had it was a breakup show, but it turned into a hiatus show. We just needed some time away from each other, my and Store. And at that show, I was so mad in the moment and just angry, and I was just beating the shit out of my drum. I broke a cymbal in half, like the whole way down up to the keyhole, just blink. And I got off stage, and I was just in a daze. We played like an hour and a half set. We had these crazy lights, and I just walked up to the nearest person. I was like, you take this, and just left. I went around out back so I could calm down. I just handed a broke cymbal. Like,
You
I didn't
know-
ask him if he wanted it or nothing.
I've realized that breaking things is no longer what it once was.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's not.
It doesn't get the same pop.
No. Because same thing in the moment, breaking things, I've learned it's really easy to break something. It's really
Very.
difficult to repair something.
If the intention is to keep it. Now, sometimes
Yeah.
that's not the intention.
Our fog machine
It just-
needs a headstone by now.
Oh, yeah.
It's just-
Well, those things. You got the cheap one, the little baby.
our fog machine is now encased by like a tom drum. and
Okay.
something. It's just all
Trying to-
destruction comes easily.
It's on life support.
Yeah. But
Poor little.
I
Oh,
grew
poor
up
little
with,
Foggy.
just
Petting it.
But that was kind of the appeal of shows that I saw here. Was there's an element of danger, and it was always like, is something about to happen to me?
Come to a My Ass War show. That's
Cool.
there. It's still there.
Yeah.
Singers hanging above your head, and everyone's
No, I love that. I love that. And so with the Chores show, it's like, okay, this is pop, but I don't know. Like, I'm into that, but I'm not sure that it's still a thing anymore.
It can be. I tell you one thing. I don't know who I was talking. I think I was at band practice talking about this. It is very not. People will get mad now when you break something. Like, somebody could have used that. And it's like, dude, I know.
Yeah.
I know someone could have used it.
Right.
I get that, but it was
Yeah.
it was in the moment. I'm crazy. I'm not gonna think about, man, I should go outside and hand this to somebody.
Yeah. I don't know. And obviously, it could just be a trend that passed, but
Maybe.
Like you
There
said,
are
in the
things
moment,
like that.
it feels natural.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Oh, man. I've broke so much stuff. Oh, my God.
But then I think, am I just immature and I'm 14 years old wanting to hit a wall because my mom said I can't stay out till 11 instead of 10?
That last show I just told you about,
Yeah.
that show cost us $400 to play it because we broke so much stuff that we accidentally broke sound guy stuff too. I took my drums, I was throwing, boom, I kicked everything apart, and it turns out there was a microphone inside one of those drums.
So our last show, I brought my acoustic guitar.
Sorry, Brian.
I brought my acoustic guitar, and it's not an electric acoustic. You don't plug it
Just
in.
a regular.
It's just a prop. And I told the
okay.
band, I said, hey, I'm going to strum along with these songs so that because my running around, I realize is nothing more than like nervous aggression or something.
Sure.
So I'm going to stay in
Get
place. And my guitar player, Joe, goes, that's a good idea. Let's see what that looks like. So for 4 songs, I'm strumming along. And then he goes, are you going to break that guitar? I'm like, I don't plan on it. Well, after 4 songs, I'm like, man, I'm just bored. And so I put the guitar down. And he goes, that didn't last long. And I'm all over the place again. I didn't break the guitar. But what was the point I was trying to get at?
We're talking about breaking stuff.
Yeah, I feel it was a way for me. It was just a physical reminder, like I am not here. I'm here to play music. Maybe you'll like the songs and not me.
Do you think maybe you're not supposed to use it as a tool for attention, maybe?
Oh, Prince showed his butt cheeks and got attention, and I thought that was
listen.
awesome. I don't know.
I saw a guy one time at Vino's, the old stage, this table that we're talking at right now. I watched a guy pull his whole wiener out and take a full piss live while he was playing. I don't know, dude. I used to go to Vino's just to be at Vino's. That's how once I found out local local music was a thing.
Man, you and I had to be at so many shows at the
There's
same
no
time.
way we weren't. When you walked in the door, I was like, I've seen this guy 100 times.
Man,
I've just never
We've
met
been
him.
at so many shows together, for sure.
Probably hundreds. Because I was at old Juanita's, Vino's, the Village, and downtown music.
Village.
Dude, downtown music, I'm one of a handful of people that played the first version of it that remember the stage in the back with, up on the wall. It was a terrible design. We talked about it with Jeff on the podcast.
Were you at Queens of the Stone Age at the Village?
Maybe. I mean, I was at most of the show. I worked there, so probably.
Okay. That was incredible.
They had so many shows. People would be like, they played at the Village, and I was like, damn, did they? Because it was
incredible.
You were just there, so you
I was just there. I was working, so it's a little different when. And also, that's probably the early days of Queens of the Stone Age. So if they weren't
No. They had put out songs for the deaf.
oh, okay, so they were
doing this thing called the Duluth tour, where they're hitting up cities they don't typically play
Fair
on
enough.
tour.
Fair enough. Then I probably was. I don't see why I wouldn't have been. But I did miss a few.
It was so hot. And
Yeah,
it was just so appropriate. It was so awesome.
The air conditioner in that building had a really hard time.
Well, that building, rest in peace. Wow,
Dude,
what a landmark.
What a landmark and what a waste of tearing it down. And I could go into that. I could talk about that for hours.
I saw Batman Returns opening day.
I saw Jurassic Park,
Yes.
Mortal Kombat, the first one.
Yes.
Yeah, Armageddon. There
I
you
did
go.
too.
See,
I
there
saw
you go.
Armageddon there. Yes.
God, dude.
Man, but just that was the only building in Central Arkansas with that kind of personality.
Personality's a great word
Yes.
for it. It had its own thing. The steel beams with the steel stars welded to the top of it.
Yes.
And that screen was ahead of its time by 20 years.
Incredible.
That full wraparound, that predated IMAX by a long
I'm
time.
so sad I can't take my kids there.
God, what a waste.
So what
Even
was the
as
nail
a
in the
venue.
coffin?
Oh.
There were many nails.
No, it wasn't Insane Clown Posse. If anything, that show was a massive success. That was the last show there, but that was already predetermined. It was the school, man. And yeah, the school. They bought that whole block. Everything's closed down out there. If you've noticed, all those buildings, all those roads, it's all empty. So the school bought it all.
Man, it is
And-
such a shame.
And
that
the
building
guy
doesn't exist.
that built that, well, it was supposed to, they had these whole expansion plans and all this BS, and of course with the thing, but it took them forever to acquire all the property. But the guy that owned that building was he was a fuckface. He sucked. And he didn't care that the city or like that there was a community going on there. It's like, dude, just let us use the building till you're going to need the space. Like we knew already that they were just trying to acquire everything for an expansion project. It was like, why do you have to acquire it and then close it down? That doesn't make any sense. But anyway, it happened. And then so what happened was cops start coming. They start sending them in waves, detectives doing these sting operations where they would give children fake IDs. That worked, by the way. So we did check them, but it would clear. You know, we're checking them. We didn't have a freaking reader, so we're checking them. It's like, okay, well, this is a real ID, but it was made, you know, in a sting operation. So he kept getting fine after fine after fine, and it was just like, I don't know, dude, what they want me to do, and he just got fed up and shut it down. And then what? It sat there empty for a year or so, and then they just bulldozed it for nothing.
I know the nail in the coffin of that location as a theater was that it's one screen. When a new release comes out, it's popular for 2 weeks, and then if you've got to keep one movie running for a month,
and those contracts they have to sign is crazy. So, especially Disney, man, it's like you have to keep this movie in your theater for 6 months. So it's like, good lord,
even at like the fourth week, no one's coming to see this movie because it's old news.
Exactly.
So how are you paying the bills? So it didn't fit the model. But wow, what a place!
Well, times changed around it.
Yeah,
and to be fair, the building adapted. It became a concert venue. It was a few things in between movie theater and concert venue, but none of it ever lasted. Neither did the concert venue, but that was through no fault of its own.
It would have been awesome if it could have existed as both. This is a movie theater and a concert
We had
venue.
started doing, you know, a movie night. It wasn't catching on very well, but we would put a giant projector screen on the stage. So it was like, like 500 inches or whatever, which is not very big. But it was fun, and we would have a blast, and then we would like go in there low key and set up because we had a key to the building, and we would play like video games and sit in the big chairs in this giant empty venue.
I mean, rest in peace, Cinema 150. Rest in peace, Tandy 10.
Yo, Tandy 10. That place
That was it.
All the chairs were flat. There wasn't any rise, dude. Someone tossed that in front of you.
I am so thankful that I waited. I don't know how I waited, but when Drive came out, I missed it on like opening weekend. So I was like, I'm gonna wait till the 10.
50
and
cents
I saw
movies.
it at the Tandy 10 with the like dripping air conditioners, the alarms going off.
Dude, that place.
Top 3 movie experiences. Yeah.
Oh, we were poor. We used to go to Tandy 10 and the Carmichael. It was 50-cent movies, and it was like the building is still there. It's behind a bunch of buildings off of.
Where is this?
Man, I'd have to look it up. It's in Little Rock. And it's like I think it's the Rodney Parham area. It's like down a bunch of side roads.
It's like
it was
in
like
the
this
valley.
Yeah, and there was like a little staircase and a window.
Saw Blair Witch.
And you could, dude, 50-cent movies for real.
Oh wait, no, that's the old. That was Market Street.
Market Street.
Market Street.
Thank you.
Market
you.
Street.
Market Street Cinema.
Yep.
That's the one.
Yeah. I didn't see Blair Witch there. I saw Groundhog Day. Sorry.
With Bill Murray
in
in the movie theater.
Yeah.
Well, back then movies would be in the theater for a year, and then they would come out on VHS to rent, and you couldn't buy them.
And they'd be $20.
And and then you could buy it after like a year and a half later. Now it's like Mario Brothers makes $1 billion the next week. Buy it on your television.
And if you bought that movie on VHS, you were a big fan.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, you were a fan. I bought it.
Are you talking about the original one?
I'm talking like just VHSs in general. When they came out, if you paid $20 for a movie, this was like one of your favorite movies.
Oh yeah, especially back then. $20 was a lot of money. Yeah. That same $20 in the same time could get the whole family to the movie theater.
Yeah.
All the tickets, the gas, the popcorn.
Yeah.
Wild.
Crazy. Like there's anything I want to watch now via streaming, and I want to watch nothing.
Yeah, same. I watch so little.
Actually, have you seen Dave?
I saw the first season because Andrew Santino's in that. He's so funny.
Did you stop?
Yeah.
You gotta keep.
There's 2 and 3 now, right?
Yeah, you gotta.
Where's third one out? Okay.
So, Kurt, I agree. It's so good, but it's so hard to convince people it's worthwhile because
I liked the show, but
if you tell someone, hey, you should watch Dave, and they watch the trailer, I only respect you if you go, I'm not watching that.
Right. Yeah, it's not
You
a
know?
good trailer. You're
No,
right. Yeah.
it's like, what is
It's
this
just
about?
a little dicky, and it seems
Yeah.
like it seems like fake reality TV.
Well, it's
You know,
just
it's kind of how it's shot because it's always at a house or
It's
something.
like
or,
this is juvenile
Yes,
entertainment,
yeah.
but it becomes the most meaningful thing.
I'm not surprised by that.
I don't know how.
I should. All right, I'll give season 2 a shot.
It becomes, it's incredible. What it becomes is so meaningful.
Okay.
Anyway,
All right.
That's
All
a
right.
tangent, but keep
I
going.
like the cast. I like the act. Like I'm into all those characters. I just was like, it's just a show. We did it, y'all. Live on the air. How about that?
There we go.
Thank you, Sam. We got it pulled up. We hit 1,000 subscribers. That is crazy.
Congratulations.
A Crown TV, is that a do some dramatic acting real quick? I'm a sentimental person now, man.
Too.
It's
Too sentimental.
yeah. Everything makes me sad now.
Everything
Yeah.
matters.
Kurt, put that on Instagram. Oh, it went 1001, baby. Kurt, how did you do that?
It's a lifetime.
Really? Okay.
We did it.
Takes a real time.
We did it, y'all, in the middle of an episode.
We did it.
How historical.
That's awesome.
Pull this back 5 years from now when I'm interviewing who were we talking about earlier? Aerosmith.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Maybe the algorithm heard Dave and Little Dicky and shot out.
It was Little Dicky's ghost algorithm. That's what it was.
It wasn't me.
But it will be, you see. In 1 week's time, everyone will see this episode.
Right.
So taking a break, all that stuff, but when you got into your first band, was it something you wanted? Because I know for the way I came to music was I watched a friend of mine play, and I was so just enthralled. I call it kaleidoscope eyes. I just immediately like sparkles and
The
shimmers
colors.
and
Yeah.
just it was like a drug. It still is a drug. I'm
for
almost
sure.
40, and there's no way I'm ever stopping doing this.
No, it is a form of addiction.
It's an
sure.
dude, and I got it. I'm
Absolutely.
scratching my
Yeah,
neck,
yeah.
like
Yeah. No, what were you saying?
I was just thinking, how did you get to a first band? If the early days, you're like singing along, stuff like that, but you're finding a guitar. How did you get to that point?
No, it's exactly what you just said.
Really?
You're part of an experience, and the colors shoot up.
Uh-huh.
It's just, whoa, this makes me feel.
You saw something, and you were just like, "That I got to do that, whatever that is. I
Can't make
want
the
it."
football team. I can't make the basketball team.
Or in my case, don't want to. Yeah.
No, I wanted it
I
in
didn't
seventh grade, but then I realized it's just what makes you feel. And it
Yeah.
was like, makes me feel something. And
Do you remember what band it was?
seeing them live.
Like what was like the moment? I have a handful of them, but mine was my friend's band at a talent show.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was Living Sacrifice. And then my
Oh.
buddy's band, Encomium.
Yeah. Drew?
Uh-huh.
Oh, you say live in sacrifice when Lance would light the chainsaw thing on fire.
Yeah, the
That
little
was-
saw blade
that
or
was
whatever.
a big deal.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot going on around that time.
Oh, dude.
You know, that time was
It was
cool. There was
very
Live in
pivotal.
Sacrifice. It was always the characters that drew me in. It was Me Without You, Project
Zayo.
86.
Every band was a
Did
character.
you say Zayo?
Oh, hell yeah, I said Zayo.
Dude, I was like knees on the floor with him at
Say
Vino's.
less. Oh,
Wow,
who was
gosh.
it? Chun chun, burn it down and walk away. Dun dun, burn it down and walk away. Dude. And then everyone, you want to talk about pure chaos? Oh my God.
That's it.
That and their AC/DC cover was legendary.
Incredible.
Unbelievable moments.
Yeah,
man.
those shows at Vino's.
Not a camera in sight.
Lit me
Cell
up.
phones didn't exist. Like they
Yeah.
existed, but they didn't have cameras, and you left them
Right.
in the car. No one cared about them.
And when you asked me where it started, it was like all this stuff with my dad and my uncle, but that was all on television.
Right.
But then when I saw it for myself was at Vino's.
Yeah.
And all of those bands that brought this, like, they were dangerous. It was
Oh
like,
my
what
God,
is
all
about,
of it? It
what is
was
gonna
every
happen
band.
here?
I think we just didn't know things. We were all the same age. Like all of those bands we watched, they're all our age too. They might be
yeah.
like 42,
Mhm.
but they're still in our group. You know,
Mhm.
we were all young and crazy, and the internet was brand new. Like
Yeah.
YouTube still looked like a television. It was all brand new stuff.
Man, yes.
We were just
that's it.
unhinged.
Yeah,
We were unhinged.
that's it.
We had
And-
access like we've never seen it before at a very pivotal moment. Like we're leaving school. We're adults now.
Mhm.
And we have, you know, it's still the old school of, well, you're a man now or you're an adult now. Like go get your power and take control. So you're kind of like, ah.
So I don't know. It's hard to find a moment, but it definitely happened at Vino's.
Yeah. I feel that.
And so I know that right now, and I love Whitewater, and I go there and we play there, and it's awesome. But when I was growing up, I couldn't get into Whitewater
Right.
because I wasn't old enough.
Yeah.
And so, like Vino's for me holds the sentimentality.
I think that's why a lot of people in our age group, that is what it is. And still to this day, probably because it's the access they provide.
Right.
Because it is all ages all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think adults need a space for sure. Like 21 and up joints have their much needed reprieve from like, you can just kind of be your schlub off the kids and do the thing. And you know,
So, that first band that I was in, we opened for Encomium at a place called.
then I was definitely there,
It
dude.
wasn't the Village. What was it? Frontline.
Frontline.
The Frontline.
Michael Moore, dude.
Yes.
Moore Bros Printing Co. Him and his brother
And
ran that
so
joint.
Encomium had this video of Spartacus, and Drew was throwing cymbals
Yes,
into the crowd.
I was there.
We
There
opened
you
at
go.
that show.
Well, then I've seen your band 100%.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And so, yeah, that very
I knew we'd get there.
Formative. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Incredible times.
Oh man, Chris Honia was their guitar player.
Oh my gosh.
A
just
god, an absolute dude.
neck.
As a child, that SG.
But Drew always had that stage presence. Yeah, it was
He
awesome.
wore those gauntlets.
Flipping.
Yes.
And it
Oh,
was
the
always-
suicide flip. He was the first guy you saw flip over and not land and on purpose.
Awesome.
Bah, just scream. Nick would do the fish. His bass was up here, and he did that because they had to. And he's a teacher too. All y'all became teachers.
So I would always bug Drew about Uncle Bruce.
Uncle Bruce. Oh, who didn't? That's all he heard of. He's the guy in school. We had a buddy, and I was like, that's when I got into it. And he's like, all that crap stinks, dude. You got to listen to this. And he sits down a stack of CDs, and there's Zayo. There's, Ludacris, which became Norma Jean. Because this is before that. Living Sacrifice, Zayo, Ludacris. Listen to this. And I'm like, I go home and I listen to it. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know music could sound this way.
Yep.
I'm listening to Korn, Limp Bizkit, Tupac, Biggie, all that shit. Nirvana, like mainstream stuff. And then he hands that to me and I was forever different.
Zayo, Blood and Fire was a turning point for me. But then self-titled was a totally different thing.
It's unreal.
I've got on my dresser at home, I've got this picture of me and my wife when we first started dating. And I love the picture. I'm in the Zayo self-titled shirt. And it's just...
I love it, man. And, for what it's worth, there was a few pivotal Friends bands who really, every one of us would be at every Encomium show.
Yeah.
Like, there was a handful of friends who had bands that were just so good, and everybody would go all the time.
We were all waiting
were
for
all in
Encomium
school.
to, hit that next level, weren't we?
Everyone was, for the whole tenure of their career, and it just never happened for some reason. And I don't know why.
I don't either.
I was really good friends with Chris. We spent all the time together. He was in my friend circle, and we would just get really, really do extracurricular things and just hang out. And he would just play riffs, and we would all just be like in my shed playing music all the time.
That was
and I
always
just
the talk after those shows was, all right, Drew did this or that.
Uh-huh.
Does he play guitar like that?
Dude, it was unbelievable. I still to this day, I was a fan of my friend, which is weird.
Yeah.
And you're hanging out with him, and he's
Yeah.
I had keyboarding class with him,
Uh-huh.
and it sounded like he was pounding the keyboard. His fingers just did things that were like magical, and you could just. It was
another
nuts.
band during that time that left me bewildered with the the style of guitar that was so left of center was Further Seems Forever.
Oh yeah,
I could never figure those songs out. What are they doing?
I don't know. There was it was an experimental time in music.
Yeah.
That's why that music got so big. Name another time where the underground was as big as what was going on in they had magazines for these bands, shows, like they were everywhere.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, Warped Tour, everybody knows what the fuck Warped Tour is, and it was for a bunch of nobodies.
That's true. Yeah. I never thought of it that way. It's a great point.
It's like the only time in history where the underground music scene was as relevant as anything else at the time. And now it's back down because the internet just brought everything down.
Right.
You know, now they upload like there's like 6 million songs a day or some crazy number like that. I don't know.
You know what kept me?
It was a weird
from
time,
ever
and it was
fully-
cool to see.
What kept me from ever fully engaging in that scene and like forming a band? Like I played that band, but it was like an Appleseed Cast kind of thing. I can't play metal.
Because like oh really?
No.
It doesn't hold your vibe.
No, it's not that it doesn't hold it. It's that I don't have the skill to play like the.
Yeah.
Like I'm into like simple melodies, and stuff, and so like 80s pop works for me, whereas that music that was so formative I could never engage in. Because my band played like ambient kind of stuff, you know.
Okay. Kind of like Me Without You. They were
no, more like I said, Appleseed Cast kind of stuff. But the music of that time was so intense, but I could never start a band and do it because I couldn't play that style.
That's another thing. We were hearing things for the first time that were like that. Because again, all children, and the punk scene existed. There was always fast and heavy, and like metal existed.
Yeah.
There was Metallica and all this stuff.
Right.
But it was never in that where these crazy slow halftime breakdowns, and you're just and everyone is starting just beating the piss out of each other. It's just like, what is it? It was all unhinged.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it just got so big, because why does a band, and I'm not shitting on it, I love these bands, but how does a band like Norma Jean get to a point where they're playing in front of 100,000 people when in reality, any other time in history, whatever genre they are, if they're underground, they're playing to 100 people is a really good show.
Right.
And now they're playing in front of a stadium of people outside in Illinois somewhere.
So I've had a couple people, and by a couple I think I mean two, ask me this.
That's what couple means, kids.
After a Chores show, like, were you into hardcore? And it's like, I think the answer is no, but I think maybe I just lied to you, because I think that comes out subconsciously from a show, is that like it sounds like 80s stuff, but then I grew up in Vinos.
Exactly.
And I want you to feel a little scared.
Yeah, I want to put some stank on it.
Yeah.
And that is, have you heard of Tiny Towns yet?
We played a show with them.
They have that kind of no distortion.
My old band played a show with
them. No distortion whatsoever. But they can hold a crowd and cause an actual mosh pit with clean riffs. Like, you can absolutely, it's like an energy transference. Yeah. And you can absolutely be hardcore and not hardcore at all. I still to this day think the most metal, non-metal song is Carry On Our Wayward Son by Kansas. Ooh. If you take that song and put distortion on the guitar that's not from 1970 and I played it in now times, that song fucking will rip you apart. Crazy timing signatures, awesome halftime beats. Like, it's a metal song.
That just blew my mind.
Yeah.
Hold on. Can we take a break and come back to that?
Absolutely.
Okay. Are we on break?
Yeah, we can just cut whatever.
Okay. No, that's
you got to go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
Okay. Doop, I'm gone. All right, I just want to, I'll take some time and fill up, like, we did 1,000 subscribers in real time. We're at 1,006 subscribers. I'm gonna do a celebration crack right here. This is for 1,000 right here. Ready? Oh my God. Algorithm lords, hear me now. Please. Just do the thing we know you were designed to do, and YouTube, just please don't change the way things work for like a year. We only need a year. It's ridiculous. You know, it seems like every time something happens, YouTube just decides that they're going to change their algorithm up. Even though I still agree, I think YouTube still has the best algorithm. Man, that's cool.
TikTok technically has.
Most advanced, but it's just because it's designed to make you famous. I don't necessarily need that. But what are we looking at here? Is the feed working?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I was looking at this. As
What are we at?
we don't have enough public watch hours.
Yeah, it's the watch. Well, that's fine for the monetization. We
So-
can get the watch hours
So
up. That's
for
no big
shorts,
deal.
We just need 35 public shorts.
Literally, just so everyone at home is aware, adding 2 cameras, our retention time doubled.
Oh, we have 34. You need
Yes.
10 million
That's for
for
shorts.
shorts.
But I'm this close. I'm this close to unlocking what a short is. I'm this close. Is he listening to it? Are you listening to it?
I want to say this on video.
Okay. Yeah. Come back to me.
Yeah, that's an incredible point.
You get,
You're good, bud.
all right.
I was just congratulating us again on the 1,000 subscriber mark. I literally can't believe it.
I didn't realize we were. That's one watch.
Yeah, but we're almost halfway there. We're good. I work on watch hours all the time.
Tell me when we're back.
You're good, man. You're good.
Are we on?
Yeah.
Okay. That's an incredible point because Carry On My Wayward Son could have been an Ass Cities Burn song.
Thank you, sir. You nailed it.
Wow.
Yeah. From Son, I Loved You at Your Darkest, too.
Yes.
Like the era of ACB. Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, go listen to the whole song like in some like 1970s style, like in some really good headphones where you can hear all the nuance bits. Because, you know, old music,
The time signatures.
just
the key changes.
all of it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Even the vocalization, the harmonies, and the way they shift in the song. I'm telling you, I've thought about this a lot. I
And
put a
it's
lot
crazy
of thought.
because that is what's missing from modern pop radio is key changes and time signature changes, but it's not missing. I don't know. I don't listen to modern metal.
Well, here's the problem with me is they turned everything into we algorithmed ourselves. Music itself, even on the high end, it's a math equation. They know for a fact that 120 BPM is the BPM to garner the most effective
We love
attention.
it.
They know for a fact that this pitch is exactly what people think. That's why when you play pop songs over each other, almost all of them can be played simultaneously and just fit. Because it's just we did it. We didn't even need computers to do that. We were doing that as we were going anyway, because the whole thing is to expand and go and expand and go and expand. Like as computers do it, we do it too.
Everything that rises must converge.
Exactly. So you go boom, 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 and then you go, oh, there it is, and we go over here. Cool. Ooh, it's like finding fruit in a tree, man. Oh, here's some fruit. Do-do-do-do-do. Oh, here's where the meat hangs out. You know,
Best of what's left.
exactly.
That's a title.
Scribble it down. We've had a few good episodes here lately where titles just kind of.
Yeah. I don't need to write down and revisit this. So,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah, no, that's great.
This is forever.
This is forever.
It's weird that once something's published, even if like YouTube gets deleted, that doesn't matter. Somehow it
It's
just
there.
stays.
It's still there. Yeah.
Unless the unless the Earth explodes, right, and we lose it all, it's all here no matter what. And that could also be that. What if there's like some other thing outside of us sucking the information out, like some alien ship or something that we just don't even know about?
If the Earth explodes, it's still in the cloud, right?
It's still there, right? It's still
yeah.
boom, boom, boom. It's still being beamed across, infinity.
I'm counting on the Earth exploding.
Oh, well, they
Yeah.
say like 3 billion years the sun's going to engulf us.
I don't know.
I don't think I want to live that long.
I won't.
Like 20 more years and we're out of here.
No, you got more than that, man.
You say that. No. Genetically speaking, I got like 26 years left. That's where all my grandfathers and my dad currently reside in like that time frame. So I have less left than what I've had so far. So I am enjoying it. I actually told some friends of mine, I was like, I'm going to come unhinged a little, I think. I'm 100% at the start of a midlife crisis.
What's life without a few regrets?
You know, I want to, well, not even regrets. I just want to be silly. I'm not having no kids. I ain't leaving shit for no one. Like, why can't I do I want to do hood rat shit with my friends, man. And I want to keep doing it. And I don't have any reason to not do it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to inspire, like, my child, you know, maybe my friends.
Yeah.
But I feel like having conversations, this is the best way to do that.
This is great.
Live, like, you know, at a show, I can definitely give someone like a moment like, holy crap, did you see that? Like a child or something comes to a show. You can definitely put on a performance that'll change your life. Happened to me.
Yeah.
You know, happened to you.
Me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
we both can have that. But this is cool because we get to look back on it all.
Because if I were to think back, kind of to go back to your question on what was the moment, I have an answer for it.
Do it.
There was this band in Little Rock that you were probably at, and they were nothing like all those bands that we love coming through. They were just like straight rock and roll, and they were called The Looks. Do you remember them?
I don't.
The Looks. They would open for these shows at Vino's. I would say that the lead singer of that band influenced me more than anyone else.
Really?
He would come out, light a tambourine on fire, shake the thing.
You know what?
And then by the end of the show, he's putting Post-it notes with eyes that he drew on them on everyone's backs.
I think I have seen that band.
They were incredible.
That tambourine on fire thing definitely struck a you know, boom. I've seen so many shows.
The man who fronted that band, I don't know who he is, that left the most indelible mark on me.
Hopefully somebody listening can put that in the comments.
The Looks.
The Looks.
Incredible.
I want to say I've seen that because there was only two bands I remember with a tambourine, and that definitely struck something, but Embodiment. Remember Embodiment?
Yes. Yeah.
Only other guy I ever saw with a tambourine that was cool.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, this guy would come out, light it on fire, which, like, how do you do that? Like, you're
Hairspray,
inside.
maybe?
I don't know.
Back
glue?
then, no one gave a shit.
Yeah,
Dude. No one cared.
But The Looks, I mean, maybe someone listening can give some information that I don't have, but
I don't think we started caring until the Great White lit that venue on fire with pyrotechnics. I think that's when people started going, maybe we should do
fire.
that.
Yeah. Can't do fire.
Can't do sparklers. I mean, you know, Michael Jackson, James Hetfield, both pyrotechnic burns all over their body.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's stay away from that inside.
Yeah, let's not do that in a 200 cap room with an old roof. It was
dangerous.
Oh, the most dangerous.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen pyrotechnic? Have you ever been near a pyrotechnic? Like, not in the crowd, but like on a stage as it's happening?
Never.
Oh, it's such a different sensation.
Yeah.
It's so hot. It's ridiculous. I don't understand why they want to do it.
I have singed my eyebrows grilling chicken.
Same thing. You know, grilling chicken.
Fire is fire.
I remember seeing Kiss at Horizon, and we were all the way in the back.
Feel the heat?
You felt like you were in the oven.
Now imagine standing near it. Yes. That's what I'm saying. Being on the stage, I've only done it one time. And I can't remember even who the band was, but I was working it was a big show. And pyro goes off, and I was like, no, I don't want any part of that. I just start trying to find a way to get the fuck out of there.
So like Kiss, for example, how are they dealing with that on stage?
Well, they're covered in makeup. That has to help. That has to be some sort of reflective barrier to the heat molecule. Surely.
Yeah.
But maybe they don't. Maybe they're just desensitized to it.
To the heat.
But also they're playing in bigger areas.
Yeah.
You know, Kiss has always been an arena act, so maybe they're back. I think the thing with Hetfield, he just accidentally stepped on it. It wasn't marked, and it just blew up on him. It was a magnesium burn.
Yeah.
And as we all know, magnesium burns super hot, super bright.
A lot of them do pyro now. It's just like the cold, like
cold, like smoke.
shoots like cold.
Yeah. They make it snow, which, hey, I just watched a video of, do you know who Static X is? Do you remember Static X, Wayne Static?
Yeah.
R.I.P. Their replacement.
Your YouTube algorithm and mine are probably fairly similar.
They're probably very, very close. So, and this was on YouTube. way to nail it. you know, he passed away, and their new singer, the first version, he was zombie. Geez, I just said his fucking name. Static X, Wayne Static.
Yeah.
And then this one, now he's a cyborg.
Yeah.
And they play that song Cold. Cold was so cold. Zero. Which is my first band's name, spelled with an X, same thing, so that's weird. But they made it snow, and this guy's up there and all this crazy and I'm like, this is as effective as any fire could be. I rewatched the video like 20 times. I was like, this is incredible.
Yeah.
I want to see Static X again, and it's 2023.
My bass player had an idea. He was like, can we get a bubble machine? And, you know, those are easily bought. And
Absolutely.
I thought, we should, for sure.
So you see the price of what a good bubble machine costs.
Yeah, when's the last time we saw bubbles at a show?
Been a hot minute.
I don't feel like I have.
I've seen it, but it was always like the children's, you know, and they make professional.
The children's
bubble machines,
version of
like,
Lame Johnny?
You know, like official. Dude, like 3 came out. I don't know, it's clogged. Hold on, let me get the Dawn soap out.
Yeah.
Have you seen a professional bubble machine? They are a little bit different.
Yeah?
Yeah. They use them at like raves and stuff.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
where it builds on the floor?
Those are foam machines. No. They
Oh,
have both.
foam.
Those are foam machines, but there's bubble machines too. But it's got like 1,000 bubble wands like in these lines, and it's
Are
just
you
going in a
peering through
circle.
a curtain of bubbles?
Huh? Well, it's like that, but you can't escape it.
That sounds great.
It's just they're raining on you like little bubbly raindrops, and you're just getting soaking wet too because it's so many.
That feels like what I want.
Yeah, they make it. It's out there. You can get it. You just gotta want to, spend the money on a bubble machine. Now, I will say, the sound guy will hate you tremendously because you're getting his speakers wet. Like, he's going to cuss you out for sure if he even lets you do it.
I have definitely been told, hey, that's enough with the fog machine. And it was
Yeah.
overkill.
Yeah, we did one, dude. We did this show at a brewery in Kentucky. It was fun. They were great people, but they had just set up their live music. We were the first act. It was their 1-year anniversary. Lame Johnny of all bands is their first show, which is just, that's a weird choice. And we're playing with this other band from Louisiana called Wasted Creation. They're like death metal. And they didn't turn off the smoke machine, so the entire place, I have videos from it. If I find it, I'll send you one. You cannot see us. It's that thick. Usually a phone can peer through fog pretty well.
Yeah.
We're just silhouettes in the fog. I was like, it was still a cool effect, but I couldn't breathe. You can hear my voice as the song goes on, just decaying into worse.
Yeah. Unfortunately, my default is too much is not enough. So it's like you never have too much of a good thing.
Does that not affect you vocally? I have the hardest time with fog. In particular, the fog juice gets in my throat.
At one of our shows, my vocals are the last concern. It's just, it doesn't matter.
Really?
No.
I really need to see a Chores show then. If
It's
it doesn't matter, I know I would like it.
It doesn't. My favorite singers didn't know how to sing.
I use Nirvana all the time. I'm like, he was on the biggest band on the planet, and I can't convey how big they were. That man couldn't sing at all.
He couldn't sing, but he had this instinct for the greatest melody lines.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he was just being himself. He was just going
himself.
with the flow. There was no pressure on him.
That's it. It's Billy Corgan.
Yeah,
It's
same
the
thing.
worst voice ever. No one would go, dude, hey buddy, you should keep singing.
Exactly.
You do that well. No one says that. But he was just himself. And that's what shines through.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it was beautiful.
There's beauty in not caring. There really is. That's like my whole
It's the
thing.
character to it.
We're going tonight to see the 68, and that's Josh Scoggin in an absolute nutshell. It's just hollering at the top of your lungs and just not caring. It's pure chaos. And it's just it's so beautiful.
What's the True Detective quote? Life's barely long enough to find out what you do good at one thing. So, what does he say?
I don't know, but it sounds profound, whatever you were about to say.
No. Be careful what you get good at.
Yeah.
Because life's barely long enough to get good at one thing or something. You watch True Detective?
No, but that kind of hurts my heart, man, because I do 30 things. You just confirmed I'll be good at none of it.
I feel that.
Yeah. Well, I always told myself I wouldn't be the old guy in the room, and here we are. Now I'm the old guy in the room. I'm having a fucking blast, though.
Well, I'll be the old guy in the room.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Well, when we were going around, there was different. It was a different type of old guy. They were all really, really, really jaded, and they hated the fact there were children in their area.
There was never an old guy telling a young dude you're doing it well.
Yeah, never. There was a handful.
Yeah.
And those handful, I mean, there were literally 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were never like emphasizing great job or just anything. Hey man.
No.
Or even giving decent advice. Instead of giving you advice, they would just be like, well, you stink, or they would just insult you rather than help you out to try to make you better.
Right.
And a lot of the comeuppance in our day was just, oh, you don't like it? Well, middle fingers to you, bud. And they would do it right back to you. That was kind of the whole aura of it all.
And I do feel that's where each generation teaches the next. And I feel like
now,
that's changed.
It's
yeah, for sure.
It's night and day difference.
When you see like,
I envy these children now because
I mean, your last episode, you've got Evan, on the same show with young kids. Respect, that's great.
And wanting it. And putting it, like, he's the guy in charge. He made that happen.
It's awesome.
It's the next phase of
20
whatever.
years ago, that wasn't the deal.
Oh, dude, they would be so mad.
Absolutely.
We used to play with this band, and I cannot remember their name, but they just, every time we were on the same show, they were just like, bah humbug, bah humbug to you.
Yeah. And that, I mean...
But I think that's why we don't do that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I was about to say is that formed us, and taught us what not to be. Mm-hmm. So,
because aren't we supposed to be having fun? I thought this was supposed to be like the coolest thing in the world. Right. We're playing music, dude.
Man, this is supposed to be freedom.
People are coming. They're not just showing up. They're paying money
to do this,
to see you do the thing you can't stop doing. It's like it's innate. It's inside you
for sure. Yep. So it makes me proud of my generation.
Right.
Of our generation.
Flip the script. Yep. Yeah.
Flip the script.
100%. And there was a handful. Jeff was one of them. I actually told him that on camera. I made sure of it. I was like, you're one of the only dudes that wasn't telling us that we sucked. You were giving us a room and an outlet to do it in, and you know what? You should suck. You for a while when you're new and you're not and you don't know the process. You should suck at it.
Jeff was an outlier, just the kindest dude you could ever meet.
I mean, still to this day, just unbelievable kindness.
Yeah.
But you're supposed to suck. You're supposed to fuck up. You got to make the mistakes, and instead of someone yelling at you, which it's probably just of the times because, that was just life. You could mess up in a store and a stranger would snatch you up and spank your ass.
And it was kind of like, I think you could kind of do a parallel with like tattoos. It was like, you're going to suck until you're good.
That's right. Or anything. Stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Same thing. Like, you're going to be the worst comic ever until one day you're not. And you won't even know what day that is. You'll kind of just be in it.
It was weird. I told my wife years ago, I was like, I think I'm ready to get back out in a venue and just suck. And it's weird looking back on that was my mindset was like, I'm going to go out and suck. But that's kind of like what I was taught.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Instead of like, I want to go back out and have people go, that was cool.
I mean, it is cool. And then once you reach, especially a certain point in your abilities, you don't have to even think about those things anymore. And then you can help other people. Mm-hmm. When it becomes like you're just kind of good at what you do, you don't have to think about being good.
Right.
You don't have to think about somebody telling you you're not good enough.
Be yourself.
You just be yourself. Yeah. And that frees you up to do a lot more things like help the next generation. And now there's a group of kids coming through. I don't know what they're putting in the water in Searcy, Arkansas, but there are a handful of bands coming from that area that are absolutely mind-blowing at an age where I know me and my friends weren't that talented at that age. For a fact, Jack.
Put it in all the water.
Yeah, exactly.
Put it in all the water.
Can I have some
Absolutely. Now? Yeah.
My knees hurt.
Right. And it goes back to teaching is that if you let a kid know that they matter.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Welcome stranger. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, welcome. Here's the door.
Come on
It's
in.
wide open. Come on
That's
in.
That's all it takes.
Dude,
An open door.
we used to have to kick them open
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
punch a few faces.
Yeah.
And I was kind of in there too. It took a second to switch that off, to be not mad.
Yeah.
Because when you grow up and you're mad, you know,
Yeah,
I was
I
definitely
can identify with that, like a switch in the mindset.
yeah,
Yeah.
you have to realize, yeah, man, that guy was an asshole to me. I'm being a bit of a dick right now. Maybe I just shouldn't do that.
Right.
I still struggle with that,
Our guitar player,
but not in the way I
is
used to.
much younger than us, and I
Mhm.
can tell he doesn't deal with the same mental, like those struggles.
Right.
He doesn't see things the same way,
Mm.
and it's awesome.
Right? It's awesome that they don't have that, because that just, and again, we see it. We move. Oh nope. It's all about course correction. You can take it all. You can
Yep.
go back every time and be like, oh, and now he has so little to worry about. He can be infinitely better, and
Yeah.
that's why they are infinitely better.
And then the next generation will teach this generation.
That's right.
It's
And then they
crazy.
have access, and even as weird as it is to say, their kids will have more access than even they
Yeah.
did, which right now seems infinite, but for some reason, infinite just keeps getting bigger
And then we just get better and better until AI takes
until
us
you
all
can just
out.
download it all and everybody's the
Download it.
same. And now we're all,
Yeah.
and then what are we? Gray aliens.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I thought about this is a total change of course, but
Do it.
kind of back to where you were talking about with AI. Like we're gonna get to a point to where if I'm walking down the hallway or walking down the street or the sidewalk and I see someone coming and I casually know them, instead of me figuring out what's the best point of conversation,
You'll just
I
know it.
think
That's
it
right.
and it goes, hey, ask them about this.
Uh-huh. And here's a weird thing with their neural link stuff going on. You won't even have to talk to them. They'll just know what you thought already. Privacy in the future will be zero. Thoughts, all of it. That's what it is.
Mhm.
And it's going to be real weird the first generation of humans that have to deal with that, which is probably not us, but definitely the kids that are coming to shows today will definitely be linking into a system where everyone knows all of it. There'll be no more passwords. There'll be no more this or that. It's going to be strange, for sure.
T.S. Eliot, man, this is the way the world ends, not with a bang, but a whimper.
A whimper, it just goes away. Yeah.
Mhm.
But that's, whatever. We got to live in the bang time. We live in the weirdest time of all
here.
time. We're between two completely different humans. And we are
That's what I
right in
said.
the middle.
We're in the middle.
We're right in the
turning
middle of
point.
two different people.
I
It's
feel
so cool.
It's a privilege. It's a privilege.
Yeah, we're the middle people, dude.
We
you know when
are-
we ask, where's all the middle monkeys at? We're the middle monkeys, dude.
We're the turn in evolution. Yeah.
We're just witnessing
Yeah.
it in real time. Because I promise you, the kids I come in contact with now are not us.
No.
And my dad was way different. He had such a different life. He would tell me stories like, and I'm like, what the fuck? That's just how people did things? He's like, that's just what it was. And you're like, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
We saw some of that, especially with like the grocery store beatings, some random stranger could give you a spanking. But with him, it was like they could just shut you up for real, for real. It's like everything was just like, no, everybody's bitter. We just got out of a world war.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, shit was different.
And some of that, I mean, I don't know. I believe in generational stuff. So losing some of that bitterness, maybe we're shedding some of that skin.
Sure. Yeah. We're trying to fix it. Yeah. Trying. Yeah, people are out there doing good things in the world, for sure. I believe it. And then it's just our duty to keep that, that vibe alive with our music and our, and with you have probably one of the most important jobs right now, maybe ever, at this moment with teaching.
Maybe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
It's
I mean,
we're at a real pivotal point in human history.
well, if you think about kids and where they spend, the majority of their life, adults spend the majority of their life at work.
At work,
Kids spend
school.
and we all spend the majority of our childhood at school.
even
it's a
on
big
like
deal.
even on like a plane of existence alone, like when they say your frontal lobe stops at your 25, so you only get 6-7 years of adulthood
Yeah.
to be informative, to like stick, and then you're kind of just you. They say after 25 you're pretty much you, like regardless. So most of that information is just from people like you. Like that's it.
Yeah.
You're 90% because the parents, again, when you come home, you're just like, it's so hard.
Yeah.
Everyone working a job, everything's expensive.
Well,
We're all a
and
little stressed out.
I am really hopeful. I've seen, even here in Arkansas, I think my stepsister works in a school district where it's 4 days a week.
What? You lucky bastards.
Why not? Why not do that?
I'm for it.
I mean, absolutely. The work week, the school week. Like,
I've been thinking about taking Tuesdays off.
where's the balance?
Yeah.
I mean, like 5 days a week as opposed to 2. And then
It's
on
like-
Sunday, all you're thinking, let's be honest,
Like
all you're
the-
thinking about all day is going back to work.
I love work. I love working. I'm an outlier. I love it. If I was at home, I'd be working. I had told him when I got here, I wish this wasn't today because I'd actually like to be at home doing work. Like I want to work on my house, do whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But aren't we supposed to want to like work with, like, I'd rather be at like chilling with my wife or like doing this right now. Why can't I have one more day of just this to like make me happier or fulfilled or whatever the word is,
Yeah, I think
instead of just blah, 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 blah,
Yeah, I think that,
all day.
well, that's where I was getting at, is I think that life on this side of things should be a balance. It should be a balance of work and rest,
Right.
but it's not.
Oh, no,
It's
no.
work, and then we allow ourselves a bit of rest.
You come home, dishes, laundry, whatever, homework, in your case, like,
And then the 30 minutes I get with my wife and my kids before we all go to bed, it's
but I
like,
think we would do it anyway. Cause look, I don't have kids. I don't have any real responsibility other than my bills, but I own my own business. I force it on myself. I don't have a
Yeah.
job I go
It's a-
to. I
it's
don't
a-
have anyone to answer
no,
to.
it's a human condition.
Like it's baked into my whole
Your
being.
DNA,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. It's strange. It's strange that way. My wife does not have that.
I respect you for it.
She doesn't have it at all. She's enthralled by just being around people and doing like just downtime and hanging out and
Those are my favorite people, are the ones that when you're around them that they're just totally immersed in the experience of just resting with you and stuff.
That's her,
and
for
so,
sure.
Yeah, and my wife. And kind of my least favorite people are those people who are like me. When you're around them, you realize they've got a list on their brain of, after this, I got to do A, B, C, and then probably D.
God, that's probably me. I'm just like, and then tomorrow, oh yeah, because this, and then wait, I gotta work. Okay, well Wednesday we're having this band's band practice, and then Sunday's this band's band practice, and my buddy actually told me blah blah blah. I'm constantly missing shit.
But like those people, they didn't get it figured out. It's just innate that they know that like what's really important is just being.
Yeah, I mean it is. I suck at that though. I suck at just being.
Awful at it.
Yeah, I suck at just living in a moment. I'm at a lot of moments, and I've had a lot of life. I've lived a
Yeah.
fucking crazy life. If I die tomorrow, man, it's all good.
Yeah,
I did all the stuff.
I agree.
I don't
feel that
have
way.
a whole lot more goals other than just, investing back into the music community. That's kind of my whole thing here as of late. It's just
But
like,
I think that my goal is to have a complete surrender of goals.
really? That's cool.
Goals.
I like
what are
that.
those?
Yeah. Oh, we're just here, man. We're chilling.
That's it.
It's all good.
That's it.
Yeah. Man, maybe life could be easy enough. I don't know. See,
I don't know what that feels like.
I have that weird Neanderthal brain where I'm just like survive,
too.
even though I don't
Absolutely.
have to.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to do that at all.
I'm with you on it, man.
It's so
like
strange.
I think like, wow, I wonder if maybe when I'm this age or that age and I'm retired and this and that, can I do that? I don't know.
Does any of that float into your lyrics? Like when you're writing a song and you're like, I want this song to be about
Yeah.
any number.
Yeah.
Because typically I will write, and most of the time I will have like the idea, like
Yeah.
kind of going down,
Yeah.
Okay, this song seems like this.
Yes.
Let me go to that. Okay, cool. And then
Yeah.
it kind of becomes its own thing once I get a theme in it.
When I'm at my best, it's that. It's maybe now I can get some sleep or communion in the streets.
Interesting.
We're just like we're here and we're like there's not an agenda. There's no plan. We're just here doing it. Doing nothing. That's it.
Yeah.
When I'm at my best, I realize that.
Interesting.
But I'm rarely at my best.
Fair.
Yeah.
I might be the exact opposite in that way. Like, was I talking to? Man, I never remember who the fuck I was talking to. I have so many conversations because I don't shut up. But I was talking to someone and I was like 2 weeks ago, I woke up and I've been to the wall busy, like maxed out. I don't have a second to myself, but I woke up 2 weeks ago and I just felt good. Like today's the first time I kind of felt a little laggy in a while, but I think that's simply because I drove to Texas and back yesterday. I think just being in a car just kind of exhausted me, and I didn't get home till late. And then, of course, I woke up after like 4 hours of sleep. So I was just kind of like, But I started feeling better the more I was doing. I think it's just, there's different types of people, different shapes, all, I think with our brains too, same thing. Like the more I do, the better I am at being like just around. I'm just better at being around. Like I'll go to a show, go to a movie, do a thing.
And there is a value in work. I think we were created to create. So I'm not dismissing that in any way. But I think that the whole, I think we put these kind of
dude,
constraints, barriers on that.
And the unnecessary stress too. I have to get it done. It's like, tomorrow exists, but I think our fear of, does it? Somehow we've never shed that as people. Like, yeah, we die, but that's a given. We don't even know what that is. We don't know when or how. It's just maybe you get lucky and live to 90, or maybe you're, my buddy Landon, who just never woke up one day. Just poof, just poofed out of existence. No fault of his own.
Yeah.
Just, that's it. And
it.
You're 20, 21 years old, 22 years old, just poof. No real discernible problems, just out of here.
Yeah.
It's in the back of your brain all the time. Well, there might not be a tomorrow. Well, then what does it matter really anyway? You wasn't gonna
think
finish.
when I look at who left the most lasting impact in my life, it was those people, well, they're still living, who took the time to, put my head between the couch cushions and sit on it.
Yeah.
To let me know that I mattered enough for you to wrestle with me.
Sure. That makes a lot of sense, because a lot of friends who left this earth, I wish I would have did that more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That makes sense. I like that. And we went deep.
I think we bored Kurt.
Oh, Kurt might if Kurt was bored, he would be like, hey, it's been an hour.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here.
Right.
How long have we been going? I love this part. It's hard to tell now. Hell yeah. See, we cruising, dude.
We're good?
Yeah, oh yeah.
All right.
Hey, Kurt, do you want to say something? Because I really have to pee. Yeah. This is a very pee-heavy episode.
Hello.
Hey, Kurt.
How are you?
Good, man.
Did you do your chores today?
Do the chores every day.
That checks out.
Checks. Yeah.
Yeah. It's still over there. I just moved it out of the way because it was on the. Yeah, there's plenty.
We gotta finish that off.
I'll pull it back out when Corey comes back.
All right.
He might need a little more caffeine.
Right on.
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm good, man.
See, this is why I don't sit on this side of the camera. I don't.
Conversation.
Yeah. I don't mind conversation. I'm just not good at like probing questions and.
He's really good though.
Yeah. Or I'll think of one and then he'll come back and it'll just So it's kind of just
He's
filler.
on like what are popular podcasts? Rogan.
I mean, the most popular one's Rogan.
Can you say Rogan?
Yeah. As some people that's the best thing in the world to them, and some
Rogan
people are
got
like,
me with the ice baths.
Okay.
Dude, have you tried the ice bath?
I've never had the pleasure.
I did once.
I've heard incredible things about it.
It is the worst and best thing you've ever done.
Okay.
Yeah, and so it took me a solid 20 minutes to actually get immersed in it.
Yeah.
And it was peer pressure.
Yeah.
And then when you're down in it, for the first 45 seconds, you've got two halves of your brain talking to each other.
That sounds like a long time.
It is. It feels like a turn. It's like, get out of here. No, you can do it. Get out. You can't do it. No, you can do it. And then after you hit that 45-second mark, you go, no, I can do this. And then after I went 3.5 minutes and I got out, and it was like my
3.5 minutes?
3.5 minutes in my brain, it was like it just hit this reset button.
Could you feel anything by the time you got out?
No, and that was the beauty of it.
Okay,
You
all
couldn't
right.
feel anything.
Talking about ice baths.
Yeah.
Oh,
Whoa.
I've been wanting to do it so bad, man.
Hey, I'll join you. Because I've done it once, and it was life-changing.
Really?
Yeah.
So I've got a spot at my house that I know there's going to be a sauna there, so I'm already on that tip. Hey, caffeine. Let's keep
where's
it
your
moving.
cup?
Oh, where's my cup? Oh shit, where is my cup? Cheers, matey. This is cheers for the 1,000 subscribers.
Cheers.
Oh. Clink. Ooh. Clink it and sink it. That actually is really good. It is the cream.
So good. Yep.
It's not the strawberry at all.
It's the cream. It's the cream.
Dude,
Kurt, you got
just
try it.
there you go. I didn't drink off that side. You're good. I don't backwash.
It's the cream.
I'm too fat to backwash.
It's not the strawberry.
It's not the strawberry at all. That
At
could have
all.
been caramel. It's the
Absolutely.
cream.
Gives me those like
Oh yeah.
Oh, this does?
yeah, the strawberry.
I feel
yeah,
I
yeah.
the wafer
I can
cookie.
totally get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny.
It's great.
Whatever flavoring they use in those cookies.
It's
the
great.
same thing.
I also, the older I get, the more I enjoy a good mug.
It is a little smoother than.
It's
regular
smoother.
coffee.
It does not as bitey. Yeah. It's not. That's got to be. It's all the cream. The cream's doing
the
the,
cream.
the heavy
It's
lifting
not
in this
the
drink.
strawberries.
Yeah.
But yeah, the ice bath. If you ever do it, invite me over.
I will 100% be doing it. Like, there's no doubt in my mind. I want the sauna. I want the ice bath. Those are two things I want just at my house.
So my buddy has this. We were on this because somehow Rogan came up, but my buddy he bought this horse trough to do it, and he bought
Yeah,
all these
that was my thought up. Yeah.
He bought these 20-pound bags of ice, and I go over there, and he does it like he's been practicing. He just is in this zen state, and his kids are all around him, and they're all like, "Okay, you're next." And so I put my legs in. It's like there's no chance my whole body is going down into this. There's no way. And it's hot. It's hot out. And after about 20 minutes, they convinced me. I go down, and I was telling Kurt that for about 45 seconds, your brain is like, "You can't do this. Get out. You can do
Uh-huh.
it. No, you can't." But it's
It's
mostly
a
like
ment-
you can't.
It's what it is for.
You hit the 45-second mark,
It's fortitude.
and you're good.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I'm good. And I went to 3.5 minutes. And when you get out, your brain just hit reset.
Yep.
And you realize everything you were anxious about, everything that held some sort of like importance in your brain for some wrong reason doesn't matter
Listen, man.
because
we
you're not
used
in
to-
an ice bath anymore.
That's right. Well, and we used to have to fight fucking lions, and now we don't.
That's it.
The human condition
That's it.
needs struggle.
It needs struggle.
We create it on our own. You know, it's just it's default. It's a default setting
That's it.
in our chemistry. It just
That
as
is
it
it.
is what it is.
Absolutely.
And when you jump into hot or cold, your body is like, "Here we go, bitch!"
Yeah.
It's revved up.
Yeah.
yeah, and it's good.
Yeah, my brother-in-law has a sauna.
If it didn't work, there's a study. It's like a 20-year study on saunas, and they did it in Sweden, which is like everyone there. It's part of their culture. You just have a sauna by, just culturally, you're just going to have that. Heat shock proteins, cold shock proteins. We know now because science, we figured out, oh, this is good. We need this. It releases all these things in our body, and it's healing. And it sounds hippy dippy shit, but they were way ahead of their time, man. They knew something. They were like, look, I don't know how to express this, but it makes me feel better. And we were like, get out of here, you hippie bitch. Kick.
Yeah. That is it.
And
You hit
now
the
we're
nail
coming
on the
around
head.
because now we can look inward, literally, microscopically, and
Yeah.
see that it's doing stuff. For real, for real.
It is a game changer.
It's not just a feeling anymore.
It's a game changer, but I never want to do it again.
Oh, I want to
But
do
I'll
it.
do it.
I want to do it like every day.
Yeah.
You
And there
see
are people
the
who
guys
do.
who do it, who get into it. There's another MMA guy I really like. He's with Tony Hawk. His name's they call him Wolf, but that's not his name. He does a podcast with him. It's Hawk and Wolf. He was a professional skater and a professional MMA fighter and a professional radio host. And And why can I? Yeah, he's from Australia.
It's called Hawk and Wolf.
It's called Hawk and Wolf, but he has his own also. And I can't believe his name is, I'm spacing it, but he is also one of these guys who's like ice baths. There's a reason. Jason Ellis. Thank you. And he's awesome, man. And he's very open, and he's probably the most open, honest person I've heard on a podcast in a long time. Like, he's going through a life moment right now, and dude is just speaking like his life out into existence, and it's wild to watch. Everyone should go look that guy up.
Yeah, I think the ice bath, it's a tangible pain,
Yes,
right?
it's something you can correlate.
Yes,
that's right.
It's tangible, and you know that for me, after the 45 seconds, I'm on the other side of it. The first 45 seconds, and I can't tell you the last time I struggled that much.
That's the point. And at some point that struggle just becomes this, because here's the thing about the human body. There's never a time where that gets easy to do. It just becomes longer. You can stand it longer, but it's always going to hurt. There's no, we ain't Wim Hof.
I don't. And people have asked me that, like, what was the temperature? And I was like, it was icy.
I mean, you're covered in ice, so
you're covered in ice.
Maybe the water isn't icy, but it's still below freezing. There's ice in it touching your body.
Was it like slushy?
Oh,
it was slushy.
Yeah, it's
Mine was
slushy.
slushy.
It's like a slush. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially, you're supposed to let it sit, and there's like a thing. There's a process to the ice bath, and now they got some you can buy that are, like the machine makes it a temperature.
Yeah.
And you can just, negative 27 or whatever the hell.
Unbeknownst to myself, a precursor to my ice bath was our hot water heater went out about a year ago.
You started taking cold showers.
Yeah, and it was a week until it could be repaired, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be the worst week of my life." And it ended up being like this. This is the best week of my life.
They say a cold shower, you do cold to get in, and then you turn it off, and then you soap up, and then you turn on warm water, and then you cold out.
Yeah.
And it's like more than if you drank an energy drink for like the whole day.
Yeah,
it just revs you up.
I had no option of warm, but I would get in, and it was just like the ice bath. Like, this is awful for 30 seconds. And then when I got out, it felt like I had been on like a 10-mile run or something.
Yeah.
Like, do I need a hot water
You're flexing
heater?
every muscle in your body.
Why am I paying for you to repair my hot water heater? Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
maybe.
Family's like, yes.
Yeah, the kids, please,
Dad's being crazy again.
please, Dad, please fix the hot water heater.
Mom, please stop him. He doesn't know what he's saying. And they're click forward to they're in their 30s, like, man, he was right about that ice bath thing.
Yeah. Hey, maybe tell me if you relate to this or not, but I feel like the start of a show is that kind of kickstart. Do you feel that way?
Like the intensity of it? Sure. With
like all day you think about it, and then
absolutely.
you get there, and it's time to go
what
on
am I
stage.
going to do? What am I going to say? Especially with Lame Johnny.
And you get there, it's like, I'm going to find another way on the other side of this.
I've been every position in a band you can be as far as a standard. I've been a bassist, a guitarist, I've been all the things. And then when I created Lame Johnny and played my first show, I didn't understand what it was like to be a front person. Mm-hmm. It's so different. It's the most different thing. And I've been all the things. Drummer's the best because no one gives a fuck. They don't care about you. You're just holding it down. Bassist is the funnest because you're just a drummer that gets attention. Guitarist, cool. It's all attention based. But the vocalist, they are hanging on all the things. It is so inundating because I'm playing guitar. I'm trying to tell this story. And then even worse, I can write a song. It's my favorite thing to do. Mm-hmm. I think I'm very good at it. Mm-hmm. I will toot my own horn when it comes to songwriting. It's my favorite thing to do. I would write songs forever, overplay them at my age now, but I still love playing them. The banter. Good God. The silence is deafening when you're the guy in charge of it.
Man, it's like I never signed up to be a comedian.
Thank you. I literally will write. Dude, I have a whole phone full of jokes, and I will We'll be
every
like, I'm
set list,
trying
I've got
this one
notes
out.
in between songs. Like, here's what I'm going to say, and they never work. Like, last show,
Talk about the merch.
Chase, our drummer, was the only one to get the Jurassic Park joke. But, yeah, like, I think it was maybe last Sunday or the Sunday before, Chase texted me because he had received a text from Evan about, like, a last-minute show on a Sunday. Like, can the Chores play? And so I didn't get the text at 11:45 because I was in bed.
Right.
So I wake up to
like
this,
an adult.
So I wake up with this text like, "Can you guys play this show tonight?" And everyone's like, "Yes, yes, yes." And so I'm the last voice, and I go,
fucking hate being the last guy, man.
"Well, but that's it. It's like it is so much energy to prepare mentally to go out there and do what I do." And I go, "Can I muster it up between now and then?"
Yeah.
I feel like if I were just going up and playing bass, I could, but I've got to like mentally prepare now all day to do this. And I said yes, but they stuck with 3 bands or whatever. But so I didn't have to. It was such a hard decision.
Yeah.
Like, I have to do this tonight?
I totally get it.
Struggling with it all day long, yesterday,
Yeah.
like, "Ah, it's cool."
Oh, okay. I thought I was just going to like mow the lawn today. And
Well, and here's our vocals, the vocals I write come from a very like, I try to make them as meaningful as possible. Some are just kind of silly. One song called Texas Viking is silly. It's literally myself. I wrote a song about myself and I was like, is this too stupid? And Justin was like, I mean, you do what you want. And I was like, all right. So I did it anyway. It was more of a writing exercise. I love the song, but you have to live that every time you're singing it. So when you pull from like some of our songs are really sad. They come from a dark ass place, and I don't like being in that dark ass place. But when and you can see it because I wear my fucking emotions on my sleeve,
Same.
man. I'm a very honest person.
yeah.
I'll be mid song, just fucking bawling, crying, singing, playing, like just. I have to go through that every single time.
Yes.
When that song gets on the set list,
Yeah.
guess what? I know for a fact I have to go through that moment. And some nights are way easier. Some nights I don't cry at all. Some nights or I'll be mad about it for some reason. So I'll put even more just fuck,
Yeah. There's some songs that I haven't realized what they mean until I've played them live and someone's in the audience or a band member.
They capture it.
And you're like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
Like, that was about you.
Yes. Oh, I've had those moments where you don't realize what's going on until someone
And
shares
not in a
thought
bad
about
way.
it.
Like, some stupid line like, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, you're the brightest star." And then, like, my oldest son's in the audience.
Exactly.
Who made a perfect score on the ACT.
Yep.
And it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and sometimes I do know what I'm writing about, and that is equally as effective can be problematic because I have a problem with being too honest, and sometimes I'm just very blatant, and it comes off wrong, and sometimes it is wrong. I'm not gonna give myself credit in any sort of way, but like sometimes I choose the wrong time to bring something up or say something the wrong way. I'm just very abrasive person with my language. That's something I'll struggle with writing a song where I'm like, this seems hateful rather than descriptive or like explanatory, where sometimes I'll lean into something and I'll just be like, yeah, you suck,
Yeah.
or this situation is straight trash. And I'll just start,
Yeah.
I really get in trouble with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it's
I
weird.
struggle with
It is so weird that I always say Goo Goo Dolls, but I go. I remember Johnny Resnick was like, I write a specific lyric and it is for this person, and
Long Way Down, great song.
I don't think I'll make it on my own.
and Haste the Day did a great cover of it.
Oh, I haven't heard that band name in a decade.
They're back together.
Wow.
Can you believe it? Furnace Fest. Yes, they are. Original lineup,
Back
too.
to the Goo Goo Dolls thing. Sometimes I think that I've alienated some people because sometimes the only people in the room who get the jokes that I'll say are be either like my family or my band, and I'll say like, Pitchfork made a top 10 of the Chores songs, and I'll have people come up to me after the show and go, "Where are you guys from?" And I'll go, "Down the street."
Yeah.
And they're so bewildered, and they don't. I don't realize to them I'm just lying now. It was a joke. Like, Bitch 4 has no clue who we are, and the Goo Goo Dolls don't.
Yeah. Dude, Down the Street's such a good one. I use that one a lot. We're from right down the street. I'll be in another state.
Yeah.
We're from right down the street.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Not wrong.
That's right. But I'm not getting on no planes.
Yeah. No. Well,
I ain't never playing Hawaii.
No. Sorry about you. Unless there's a boat to Hawaii, I'm never
Yeah.
playing Hawaii. And there is boats, but it'll take me a week. Cooper.
Cooper's good.
Oh, yeah. That's our podcast dog.
Nice.
It's hilarious. There's a cat, too, but he hasn't been down here in a long time. Podcast Kevin. PAWD. Podcast. Yes.
Get it.
Shout out, Maddie. It's hilarious. It's the funniest thing I've ever heard. Uh-huh. Yeah, man. So being in a band can be the best and worst thing. Being a vocalist. No, like I love being in bands, but being the vocalist, like that's what I'm. It's so strange, and it's hard to even describe because the first show we ever played was at something called like Greenfield or something like their Greenwood venue. It was like I don't even think it's there anymore. No, well, it was, but it was a recording studio thing, but that was off to the side. But they had like this hall, and you would play in a show, and it was our first. I think it was Greenwood. It was in Conway.
Okay.
It was behind a Mexican restaurant. If anybody remembers this place, it was very hard to find. There was almost no one there. The sound guy, me and him didn't get along really. We weren't mad at each other, but we definitely had some different opinions on what live music should sound like.
Yeah.
And I just remember after that show, and there was only a handful of people there, and I was just like, ooh, man, that's stressful.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
There's a different stress.
Yeah.
I've been a drummer most of my music career, and I just show up and beat the hell out of stuff and call it a day.
So, how would I equate it? I guess.
Do you write a lot of the songs?
I write all of them.
Do you?
Yeah. And,
So-
and
and
then
you
they
sing
fill
over
it.
'em?
Huh?
And you're singing over them?
Yeah, and the band fills in the blanks and connects the dots.
Sure. So you come up with like a riff or a.
Well, usually a drum pattern, a synth riff, and a vocal melody, and they'll flesh them out.
I see.
But yeah, fronting the thing up is such a different deal because you know how it works. I mean, it's just the history of rock and roll. Like the person who it's like, you know, the mother or the father of the band somehow.
Oh yeah.
For some reason.
Well, they're the person sending the message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
there's like a message inside this electrical signal that's hurling towards your face.
It's a different pressure machine.
The
than
music is the encapsulation, and the lyrics are the information.
Yeah, it's a different pressure than playing an instrument. And I mean, I appreciate those guys so much for showing up and doing it because it couldn't exist without them. But it is like it's an experience that is so.
Well, I can tell you, you don't know anyone that listens to just instrumental music. No one's doing that. Classical, sorta, but they had vocal melody styles in the music. But no one's just only listening to instrumental music.
I mean, sometimes I'll pull out some Brian Eno music for airports. If I'm like, last time I did that, like
you need a soundtrack around you.
Yeah, last time I was in that, I've been in the ER for 12 hours, and they had just put the IV in, and like, I want Brian Eno music for soundtracks. But if I'm driving to work, I don't want to hear that.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. It's
there's a connection of it. Something so different, and when you're the guy in charge of the connection, it is so vastly different.
It is.
It really
it's
is
vastly different. And you're feeling through the floorboards whether this audience is into it or out of it, and who is into it and who is
I
not.
tell you how much my eyes stay closed.
Yeah, man. It's like
I try not to focus
it's
on
like
that.
a waveform that happens.
Oh, it
You're
is.
able to. It's like this person's completely in. Over there, they're out. How can I get them in? I don't think I can. You know?
Go over there, and
Yeah,
you can
I
tell
do
they're just
that.
like,
Yeah, they're like, get away.
Uh-huh.
You know? It's
I've
yeah, I think that's it. I think that it is very similar to what we're doing in that it's a 30 to 45-minute conversation with the crowd that maybe only I am having.
Yeah.
Now, I think my band.
It's a one-way conversation.
I
It really
think
is.
my band is having a conversation with each other and with me,
That's telepathy.
but I'm like trying to channel in this crowd's energy, and yeah, it's just
It's
different.
weird, dude. It's
Yeah.
so different.
Yeah.
It's unexplainably different.
Yeah.
Playing music, period, is different. I remember one time, because my wife, me and her in a band together, and we were before as well. So she knows what it's like to be a front person and sing and have a good time. But when you're on when there's like a level to this thing, and she came on stage with my other band one time, and she just got off. When we were done, she was like, "That's unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
It's so crazy up there." Because we all have been together so long, we don't even have to look at each other, and we can just, we can change it up in real time as if we had a conversation about it, and we didn't. But Kurt's been up there enough to know, like, the energy is just, it's like ping pong balls, billions of them. It's unhinged, man. It truly
Yeah.
is just wild on the stage.
Yeah.
It's as wild as in the crowd sometimes.
That's a great analogy. It's like a pinball machine.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
energy back and forth.
But I don't even harp on people anymore for like not being into it, because they're just, a lot of our crowd shots, they're like, Jesus Christ.
I've realized they may just be absorbing.
There's an absorption to it all. Yeah, that's where I was going with that. Yeah.
Take it
Yes.
in. Because some people,
because we played shows where literally nothing happened, but everyone came up to us after the show like, holy crap. And you're just like,
and that's a difference in personality.
Takes a while to
Where
realize that
I think
that's a
like
thing,
you
too.
and I would be up front with the,
used to. Yeah. Now I'm back by
Yeah.
the soundboard enjoying it.
But there's a
cold
personality
drink.
type where it's like, at first you think, oh, they hate this, but then they're just absorbing
They're
what's
just
going
absorbing
on.
it. Dude,
Yeah.
I played a lame Johnny show at Maxine's. Great, awesome show. I didn't think it was going to be a great show, so I went in bitter.
Yeah.
Okay, that just happens, I'm not a hugest fan of Maxine's, but I like the vibe enough, and I was like, let's try it with this band. I don't know if that's our scene. And we get done, and the show was good. There was a lot of people there for Maxine's, it was a great show. I had a good time. But when we're leaving, like I'm coming around, because I have to take all this stuff off the one side or whatever, and I'm coming around, and like this 60-year-old man who was just off in the corner, I saw him there, but he comes up to me and he was like, "You did amazing. That was fun. Thank you." And I was just like, oh my God. Oh dude, yeah. Like,
So,
I'm just,
you know what's weird?
it
is
was
that
so crazy.
Maxine's has always treated us so great.
You don't know who's
You
taking in what at what time.
Max-
I don't have a problem with Maxine's. It's more just I don't like the layout so much. I don't like the way you have to like put the stuff in the corner. It's kind of me just being a bitch, really. I'm just bitching.
We've had the weirdest experiences at Maxine's, and it's not because of Maxine's, because like I said, they always treat us well, and it's a great venue.
Mhm.
But there is something. Every time I go there and play, I drive back home with a memory. Just think like I'm never gonna forget that.
Right.
And it could be bad or it could be good, but it's something It's weird. It's like that doesn't ever happen in Little Rock. I don't know. There's a different.
I've been wrong a bunch. My thing is just, I wish they would take that one thing and just like expand it a little, because like the staff has to walk through that same area.
Oh, you're
You know
talking
what I'm
about,
talking about?
the back and forth from
Oh
the
my
bar
God,
to
yes.
the,
It's
to
so-
the stage.
It's just me being a curmudgeon is all I'm doing. But
I just always feel like a jerk, like holding up in the green
the
room.
green room, dude, no. I go there to eat my pizza and I leave. I feel like
Yeah.
such a jerk.
Yeah.
If anything, rip all that down and make it a mezzanine of sorts, so people can sit up there.
It's a
like,
cool spot.
it's a cool spot.
I think last time we played Maxine's, I was chased back to my car by someone who was screaming at me about how they hate me and I need to take off the freaking vest. And it was like, traumatic is a strong word, but it was just a
What?
weird.
This person just really didn't like vests.
It made me question whether or not like I should ever do this again. Yeah. And then
Whoa.
the next show we play, some guy goes, "I love your vest."
There you go. No, it wasn't the vest. That guy just, was a real pro sleeve guy. That's crazy, dude. You just met the wrong way. Yo, that's crazy. You say the last time I was at vaccines, I
just-
watched a guy get
you
the
know that
shit
hill
beat out of him.
on Prospect. That
Yeah,
hill.
absolutely. Oh, that
I was just
terrible hill.
loading everything up. He was like, "Take off the freaking vest.
Yo.
Take off the vest."
Yeah, that man that's just unhinged, man.
That's bad.
It's probably hot outside, maybe. We'll blame it on the
But
heat.
it's still the middle. It's the middle of the night.
Yeah.
know?
Oh, it's always the middle of the night. It's never midday.
No, it's
No,
not midday.
It's because they didn't go to sleep.
Yeah.
And now they need to be asleep.
Right. And I am the recipient
Yes.
of all of that.
Yeah. Of the tough day.
Lack of sleep.
A lack of sleep and a tough day. Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched a dude pound the guy had it coming. He would not leave this guy alone. It was across the street. You know where that three-way stop is right there with the stoplight?
Yeah.
And I just hear this, and I look up, and dude just is like, "Get away from me, man." And dude just steps one too many times, and he just, dude falls. He's like, boom, boom. And I run over. I was like, "Hey, man, he's had enough. Like, you're going to kill him."
Yeah.
And he gets up, and the dude's like, and he looked right at me, and I was like, it's good. And he just walked away. He had every right to just knock this dude out. The guy gets up, though. The guy gets up. He was out of his mind drunk. He gets on his phone. He calls, and I'm like in the shadows, kind of watching, like make sure he doesn't chase up, dude. And he gets on his phone, and he goes, he pauses for a second. He just screams out, "I just got the shit beat out of me."
I think that's what I'm getting at. Is just, Hot Springs has its own flavor.
Oh, dude, it's its own thing for sure. Yeah.
It has its own, and I don't know that it gets the respect for that it deserves. You know, I think if we were to make a list of places in Arkansas that
To go people watching?
you got Eureka Springs.
Sure,
But Hot Springs, for me, it's number one.
It's fun. Hey, they got unique restaurants, right? So that's a lot to offer. Just that. I love a good unique restaurant. They got that German like sausage bar that's like underneath. Remember the one that's like down in that hole? It's on that main
What is
strip right
this?
there. Yeah.
No, I got to eat there.
Okay. I know you've seen it 100,000 times, but there's like this, it's like a giant gate and it goes all the way up this building. Well, if you walk in that gate and go down, there's a restaurant down there. And they serve beer, they serve sausages. It's like this whole vibe.
Wednesday, I'm going to eat there. Whatever it is.
It's
I'm finding
so
out.
good. It's so good. Just look for the big black
It sounds
wrought
like
iron
Mr.
fence.
Dunderbox at Old McCain Mall.
I
Remember
mean,
that?
yeah,
It was like a closet.
yeah. So we were just in Texarkana's mall yesterday. That was a sad state of affairs.
Oh, it's gone the way of the buffalo.
It was tough to be in. I was like, we should just go.
So
They
on
had a
my-
scooter store
Yeah.
and
This-
they had putt mini golf.
On my last birthday, my wife said, "What do you want to do today?" And I said, "I think I want to go to the mall." And she rolls her eyes like,
It's a mistake.
"We didn't even end up at the mall."
No, of
'Cause
course
it was
not.
like, I mean,
I think McCain Mall is the closest thing to a real mall there still is. Everything else is.
she was like, "You know that like no one goes to the mall anymore, right?" I was like, but I want to.
Yeah.
I want to ride the escalator. You know?
Last mall I went to was abandoned.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, the Pine Bluff Mall. Kurt went on a photo excursion of an abandoned mall. I mean, to be fair, we were at the Texarkana Mall and it felt abandoned. There were people there, but
Yeah.
it didn't feel like
Have
they
you
wanted to
watched
be
the
there.
documentary Jasper Mall?
No, but I know what it is.
Okay.
I'm aware of it, and I really want to watch it
You
because
would enjoy it.
it seems very much this conversation.
Yeah,
like,
you would enjoy it. Yeah.
well, and we remember mall culture too. Remember mall culture when it was like everything.
Everything.
Hey, I want to go to the mall.
Who doesn't?
You lose your mind.
Who
Yeah.
doesn't want to go to the mall?
Oh man.
You like,
And I got lucky enough to like. Most of my family lived in Dallas, so they had the big
Yes,
malls
mall.
with the ice skating rinks and all the stuff. I mean, they had stuff to do inside
that's
their
it.
malls.
That's it. is that
Rides, man.
Mall culture doesn't exist. In my brain, I feel like it does. And my wife goes, "This doesn't exist anymore.
It's dead.
You can go there, but the heart's not in it."
Yeah.
You know?
It's like you're going to shed one single tear for what you used to know.
Right. Although I will say Park Plaza is unique in that it has that like the skylight over it. Did you know it used to be outdoor?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Until recently.
My dad, when he moved here, helped landscape that place. He used to tell me stories about it.
That is so cool.
University Mall across the street. Remember that unique roof?
Oh, man.
That was cool too, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
University.
You kids don't know nothing about no University
Who
Mall.
builds
It's
a
a
mall?
Target now.
Who builds a mall next to a mall?
That's how big the culture was.
There was a mall next to a mall.
And they were both
Awesome.
slam packed. You'd go to Park Plaza and be like, there's nowhere to park. And then you'd have to go and drive over to University, and you maybe Sears had an open spot.
And so you're with your buddies at the mall, and you go, where we go next? And you go, how about the mall?
That's right. That's right. How about the mall?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like now you can walk out of a Starbucks, see another Starbucks, and just go over there.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
I love it when friends from out of town come back and realize that there are 2 Walmarts a mile from each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the new mall. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have.
It was like they closed one at one point, and everybody was like, "What are you doing?"
They closed one, went, that was a mistake, and then they opened, so now there's just 2 Walmarts
Yeah.
within almost eye shot of each other.
Wow.
And then there's another one on Chenal and Cantrell.
Yeah.
They're just,
Yeah.
every 5 miles. That's we don't need them now. It's just a sign of the times. Plus, most of the mall was dropped off children.
Oh, for sure.
It wasn't adults.
No.
It was just a grandmother with 7
Definitely.
of their children's kids.
It was the best babysitter.
My God.
Yes.
$20 and it lasted
Yep.
the whole day.
Aladdin's Castle.
Dude.
There was a movie theater.
The ones I would go to had rides and stuff,
Rides?
roller coasters. Dude, there was a place in where I grew up in Dallas. There was a pizza joint that had bumper cars. They had a Ferris wheel. They had this was a standard pizza place,
Yeah.
man. And they had a small roller coaster, like the little children. Woo, woo, woo. All of that stuff, putt, you name it. And this was in the freaking 80s and early 90s.
Yeah.
We would go here.
No, I would get dropped off at the mall. It would have a movie theater.
Yes.
It would have all the food you would want.
Everything you could ever
Aladdin's
imagine.
Castle. Hey, it's 10 o'clock in the morning.
I'll be
See you
back-
at 5.
I'll be back when the street lamps are on. Here's $20. You watch your sister, and we'll see you in a little bit. And you were like, it was the ultimate freedom.
It was awesome.
I still, you know how I saw The Lion King? I got dropped off at a Texas mall via my grandmother. All of my very young cousins are with me. She hands me $100 bill and goes, "We'll be back at the end of the day."
Oh, she handed you
$100.
100?
I was out of my mind. And you know what's crazy, children watching? We had money left over at the end of the day. I took them all to see Lion King.
What did you eat?
Mall food,
Yeah,
pretzels.
but like pretzels?
Well, we had pretzels. We had a
You didn't get the steak
chicken.
sub?
No.
Okay.
No, I think we went to a chicken sandwich. It might have been
Okay.
Chick-fil-A. Who knows?
Yeah.
I was like 14, maybe. I don't even think I was 14 yet. I'm pretty sure I was maybe even like 12. But the point is, I got left with 4 children, and it was okay. And I got $100 bill, and I fed every one of us. We went to a movie. We all got popcorn, and we went to the arcade. We went to the shoe store. We went everywhere, and we had money left
You were like,
over.
"Here's your $80 in change."
Yeah. Here's $80 in
You,
change, Grandma. That was a great time.
You had a great grandma.
Oh,
Not that I
dude, she
didn't.
was awesome.
My grandma would give me $1 and say, head into Aladdin's Castle. I'll
Well,
play 2 games of Mortal Kombat 2
4.
and be out.
2.
Be out in
When Mortal Kombat
4
4 hit
minutes.
the arcade. When Mortal Kombat 4 hit the
crowd.
arcade. Oh, there would be people crowding around that machine. The whole thing would be empty. Everyone's watching.
You'd be like,
Someone good would get the control. Yes, dude. Yes. Someone good would get on it, and no one would care.
he did the
That-
babality.
Yeah, dude.
How does he know that code?
He must have Game Informer. That was the first one where you could break through the world, and they would fall down on the spikes and just ooze
Yes.
out. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Do you remember, though, when that whole thing, one came out with the blood and it was such a deal?
It was just such because they made it where you had to turn it off.
Yes.
Dude.
But you know how I got away with it with my mom? Game Boy was in black and white. So it was sweat. It wasn't blood.
How about
sweat.
that? It was
Wasn't
sweat.
blood.
Oh, that's just sweat coming off their face, Ma.
Sweat.
And now you watch the trailer for the one they dropped 2 days ago, and it's just like, oh, he kicked his body in half. Yeah, blood everywhere. They don't hide it anymore.
Yeah.
They don't have to.
It was sweat.
But they had to go through all that. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, malls were so sick, dude.
Yep.
I have so many incredible memories inside of a mall. And now when I go, my wife, Kaylee, she's always like, let's go to the outlets. Dude, you want to talk about sad? They
I
built
love
those
the
things and
outlets,
then
yeah.
opened in 2019, right
Yeah.
before the pandemic happened. And now they're owned by a completely different company. They've already
Yeah.
sold off all the debt. And it's just the saddest thing in the world. There's
I
a Michaels in
wonder-
there now.
Like, I wonder with, the next generation who's watching Stranger Things, like, particularly season 3, which
Yeah,
takes place in the mall.
Yeah. I don't know.
So I have these certain feelings when I watch that, but they can't.
That was 3 years ago. It just doesn't exist. Like
Yeah.
that season was 3 years ago.
Right.
Those things were. It was this. It was the courtyard. We're in the courtyard. We're in the modern day courtyard right now. Like me
Right.
and you, we're at a campfire right now.
Right. Yeah.
This is just the modern version of that. We
Yeah.
don't get all of us in sync anymore, where we're all just kind of having a blast together while also being separated, like to ourselves in this moment.
But you don't
It's very
get
strange.
you don't get the smell of the pretzels.
You don't get any of the stuff, the tactile. You don't get the
You don't get
tactile.
that.
That's right.
Now,
Now-
the neon.
That's changing now too. There's a new camera they just dropped, and apparently in these metaverses on Steam and Facebook and all that stuff, there's a Canon camera you can buy and set it here, and all you have to do is just upload the footage, and it makes it like an immersive world, so they can just sit right there. Like if I put the camera right there, we could put this podcast in a metaverse, and you could be just a guest sitting there without any. And just look over and see you and look up and look at the ceiling and look all around and look at the room.
I had
So the tactile is coming back
the
in a weird digital post-apocalyptic kind of vibe.
my father-in-law bought my kids is it Oculus?
Oculus, yeah.
So my kids are like, Dad, try this out. So
Did
I
you
put
fall
it
over?
on and
Be honest.
Didn't
Did you
fall
fall?
over.
Okay.
But I'm in like a public aquarium.
Okay.
And it's cool. And then I look to my right and I make eye contact with this person and I get embarrassed and I can't handle it and I take them off. I said,
That's
"No, guys,
crazy.
that's
That's
I
crazy.
can't.
I've only done it once. They put me in a roller coaster. I almost face planted in a living room. I was like, I'm good, dude. I'm good.
I was like, why
I'll just go on a real roller coaster.
why is this person in the aquarium making eye contact with
that's
me? Like, I
weird.
don't know them.
Imagine the zombie ones that they have out where you have to, and you're face to face with them and they're like really on you.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah. And like I said, like we're in the early stages of this.
Oh yeah. Oh, I would love to I would love to see what the podcast would look like in some sort of meta. It's just a 360 camera, but it's like for some reason this one is compatible with their universe
Right.
setup,
Yeah.
JPEG, whatever I don't know what they're using, but that camera does it.
I'll see you there.
You know, it's just weird. I'm like, man, I almost want to like go over to my buddy's house and film one of these with that, like rent it or something,
Yeah.
and just do one just to see what it's like.
Yeah.
Because that is the future. If we got into it now, if we could get the money and get the camera, we're already 1,000 steps ahead of the curve because no one's doing it yet.
Yeah.
But that is where it's going.
That's where it's
Concerts,
going.
you 100% better believe that's soon.
Well, I
that's
mean,
soon.
it's all about convenience. Why would you leave your house when
Well,
you can have?
But also, instead, you're seeing it already. Like bands used to play. Metallica has a documentary, Year and a Half of Life of Metallica. They toured for a year and a half. This was in the 80s, about when we were born. Now you don't even have to do that. Now you see a ton of bands doing festivals. They'll play 20 shows a year, but they're playing in front of these crazy crowds. And then with the pandemic, what we saw, there's a band called Under Oath, and they made 3 times the amount of money in 1 week that they would have in 3 months touring with Slipknot. That was supposed to happen that summer. So they made all that money because they streamed worldwide at one time in a concert. Imagine one concert a year is all you have to do, and you pop in or 2 or 3 or do it every quarter, 4 shows a year, and there is 1 billion people from all around the planet in the room with you, and they can be dragons and Zordon and who the fuck knows. They can be whatever they want, and the smells are there. the heat, you know, if you have the body thing, that's coming, and it's coming soon. That's not fantasy
that's the
anymore.
future.
That's the
Yeah.
future.
Where did the smells come from?
Huh? I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
They're gonna get it.
Yeah, they're gonna get.
You know, we already had Scratch and Sniff magazines. They'll
Yeah.
get
Sure.
They'll
That
get
was
the-
the start. We
Yo.
should have known.
it. This ain't grape.
It smells like medicine.
Yeah, it did. Grape never smelled right. See, he gets it.
It smells like cough syrup.
It does. It never smelled like grape, man.
That isn't a popular opinion, but I never.
I don't either.
I don't want to go see a movie and like.
It's
That's too much.
it's coming though, and they're gonna do it. You know why? Because they just think they need to.
It's weird though how it coincided with the pandemic. How
Well,
the
it just showed us
technology
everything, yeah.
coincided with the pandemic.
They doubled the. I think they said it's actually. I was listening to a guy speaking. He was like, whatever was supposed to take like 50 years is down to 5.
Yeah.
Like it fast tracked everything because all anyone had was time.
Yeah.
Everyone went, you know, especially all the people responsible. They went in their houses and just,
I mean,
started
like,
crunching numbers.
when you-
Dude, our bandwidth on our internets, to stream these came down because they had to. So they had to
Yeah.
figure out code to make these streams not as big
Yeah.
and still be really good quality. I did a
No, I
test at
mean-
my house the other day with this camera and my simple laptop, and it looks unbelievable.
They're begging
couldn't believe it, and
people
I
to
didn't
go
do
to the
anything.
Movie theater.
Yes.
You know, I mean,
You don't have to, dude. I have a 75-inch television in my house, and that's really stupid because I have a small house. I can see my whole TV from anywhere in my house. It is. It's a whole wall in my house. So, and I have a $200 sound bar that fills the entire space with unbelievable
so why
sound.
leave?
Why do I gotta go to the theater and spend $100?
Why leave? Hey guys.
Well, how long have we been going?
We're right at 2 hours and 30.
You want to wrap it up?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Everyone go watch the Chores. All right? I'm going to.
Do the chores.
Plug your stuff, man.
Our stuff.
You got Instagram, Facebook.
Instagram.
You got a show coming up.
Do the chores. We've got some songs that will be coming out this summer. We got a show this week at Hot Springs.
This wouldn't have even aired
okay.
till after.
The
So,
show's done.
and it was awesome.
It
we
was-
were all there.
It's incredible.
All the stuff we just talked about, unbelievable.
Unbelievable. And if you don't want to punch in for the 4D smells, and sights and sounds, come and see us.
Keep
But,
coming to live shows, or otherwise we're all going to be punching in.
See you on the internet.
That's right, baby. All right, dude. Everybody, we're on Patreon. That's very important. We're about to start doing more content there. That's why I was doing the test with the camera. We're putting out episodes all the time. Thank you, YouTube. My God, what a massive relief. We're going to start doing more there as well. Shorts, all the things. We're at all the social medias, Crashcast Pod, and on Twitter, it's CrashCastPod1. Thanks for listening. Peace. Dang, dude.
Yeah.
Man. What an episode. Holy hell.